हेलो एंड वेलकम एवरीवन, दिस इज प्रोफेसर सिद्धार्थ सुराना। आई होप यू गाइज आर डूइंग गुड और मैं तो हमेशा मस्ती रहता हूं। वेलकम टू एपिसोड नंबर 5 ऑफ MCQ सीजन 3 एप्लीकेबल फॉर May 22 November 22 एग्जाम। लास्ट क्लास वी फिनिश्ड अप टू चैप्टर नंबर 22 in fact that is income tax settlement commission. So we now go ahead. Some important topics will be covered in this chapter. Lot of questions on penalties in the form of case study have been recently asked in exam also, and plus because the initial few chapters are a little small, we will also be having TDS. We'll try to complete our chapter TDS. For now we will start with our chapter number 23, that is authority for advance ruling, majorly theory and also relevant for international tax. An application for advance ruling was made on 31st May 21 in relation to a transaction proposed to be undertaken by Mr. Andrew, a resident of Germany. On 7/7/21, he decides to withdraw the said application. What is the rule? Application to AAR can be withdrawn within 30 days as per choice of assessee. Beyond 30 days, is it possible? Yes, but only if approved by AAR. So, cannot be withdrawn once filed. Wrong. Can be withdrawn only with the permission of Principal Chief Commissioner. Wrong. Cannot be withdrawn since 30 days have passed. Because normally this would have been your answer. But let's read the fourth option. Can be withdrawn with permission of AAR if the circumstances so justify. So most appropriate will be this. If option D was not there in the MCQ, then C is the most appropriate answer. But between C and D is more appropriate. Application for advance ruling can be made by NR, resident on behalf of non-resident, public sector company, all of them are allowed to make. Advance ruling is binding on applicant, yes, CIT, yes, in fact both of them, even on the transaction. So advance ruling is none of them tick kar diya galti se. Applicable on both of them, all of them samajh. Application is binding on both of them, matlab assessee, CIT. If option 3 was transaction and option 4 was all of the above, then that would have been our answer, but here it is both of them. Application for advance ruling can be made by public sector company only if matter is pending with IT authority or tribunal. Yes, it is required, then only they can come. Not pending at High Court, that is also required, because if it is pending at High Court, it will be rejected. So both of them, yes, both conditions fulfill, then only. So not pending at any level is wrong. That rule is for the other three applicants. For public sector company, it should be pending at the IT authority or tribunal and not pending at High Court, Supreme Court. Application for advance ruling can be made by non-resident only if matter is pending. No, that is not allowed. The matter is pending at High Court, Supreme Court, no, that is also. So both is not allowed. The truth is that other three applicants other than public sector company, matter not pending at any level. Application for advance ruling can be rejected without opportunity of being heard to the assessee if matter is pending at any level in case of NR. Yes. Matter is pending at High Court in case of public sector company. Yes. That means in both of them, the case can be rejected without giving opportunity of being heard. As per 245N, advance ruling means determination by authority for AAR on decision whether arrangement which is proposed to be undertaken is an impermissible avoidance agreement as referred in chapter 10A or not. For making this application, the applicant has to be who? Whenever we want to make an application to AAR, who can be an applicant? Can NR apply? Yes. Resident apply? Only a resident? Only a non-resident? Only non-resident? Wrong answer, because resident also allowed. Only resident? Wrong answer, because primarily non-resident also allowed. Only resident falling in the notified cases? No, only is never right. It is non-resident for self, resident for non-resident, resident notified, that is transaction more than 100 crore, public sector company. So correct answer will be either a resident or a non-resident. AAR consists of chairman, vice chairman, revenue member, law member. Assessee filed application before AAR pertaining to certain interpretation. Determine which of the following persons can become a revenue member. Revenue member का क्या criteria है? Indian Revenue Service or Indian Custom and Central Excise Service. Person from Indian Revenue Service, yes. Person from Indian Custom and Central Excise Service, yes. Member of ILS, no. He can become law member. So A and B, but not C. If Cure House Incorporation non-resident opts for advance ruling for project of providing consultancy in field of medicine, then that ruling will be binding on Cure House, of course, because it is applicant. AO, of course. Both A and B, that is also true. Both A and B in relation to above project and any transaction See, ideally if D was not binding ऐसा कोई option तो we would have said C because A and B is right. But when D is saying these two plus the transaction, then most appropriate answer will be D. Application for AAR made by non-resident shall not be admitted if his case is pending before any IT authority or ITAT. That's right. Before any IT authority or ITAT subsequent, no, on the date of making application, if it is pending, then it will not be allowed. Later on, if you do the transaction, that's a different thing. So both cannot be the answer. None is also not the answer. A will be your answer. Resident in relation to his tax liability arising out of one or more transactions valuing ये dollar नहीं है, ये rupees होगा. In total, which has been undertaken would be eligible. When the transaction is 100 crore or more. Application for advance ruling is not allowed in the following situation. When question involved is already pending before IT authority. That's right. Where it is for determining fair market value. That's right. Except PSUs where it is in the nature of avoidance of tax. That is also right. That means not allowed in all the cases. Time limit for AAR to pronounce ruling from the date of application. What is the time limit? Direct knowledge of time limit is tested. It has to be done within a period of 6 months. Mr. Zakir, a non-resident, wants to file application before the AAR pertaining to tax implication arising out of a contract with Indian company under the provisions of the Act. He is of the opinion that following persons can be revenue member. A person from Indian Revenue Service? Yes, allowed. Custom and Central Excise Service? Yes, allowed. Legal service cannot become revenue member. He can become only law member. Who can become? 1 or 2, 1 or 3, 1, 2, 3, only 1. 1 or 2, both can become. So answer will be A. An application for advance ruling has been filed on 1st September 21. When is the application filed? 1st September 21 before the authority for advance ruling, and the authority is bound to pronounce its ruling. In how much time? What is the time limit? 6 months from the receipt of application. Time limit will be 6 months. So that was your first chapter for the day. AAR. As far as tonnage tax scheme is concerned, we all know it is one of the most irrelevant, most useless topics ever. But what institute did is, in the case study digest that they released last year for MCQs, they incorporated one case study. Yes, we already had some questions, but we already take this chapter as a less relevant topic. But they have introduced a case study based MCQ. So there are a few 3-4 questions on that case study. So what we will do is, no choice but a couple of concepts which otherwise not relevant because of the less importance of this topic. What we will do is, we will cover up those concepts and we will finish that case study. We have incorporated every question of ICAI case study digest. So let's see, what do we have? Which of the conditions required to be fulfilled? Company should own at least one qualifying ship. Yes. Tonnage of 15 tons. Yes. Valid certificate. Yes. So all of the above. Benefit of tonnage tax scheme is available to shipping companies whose ship has net tonnage of kitna minimum requirement? 15 ton. Already saw in the previous case also. Special provision, that is tonnage tax scheme relating to taxation of shipping companies, is mandatory, optional, not applicable. What? It is going to be an optional scheme. It's presumptive taxation. Tonnage income of a qualifying ship is to be calculated on the basis of daily tonnage, which is multiplied by what? Number of ships, 9. Number of people, 9. Number of days for which the ship was operated. For calculating the daily tonnage income, if the tonnage exceeds 10,000 but not more than 15 or 25,000, what will be the income? Between 10 and 25, that 15 is taxable at what rate? What is the income calculation? First 1000 is 72, next 9,000, 1000 to 10,000 is 63, and then we have 42 and 29. So 70, 53. If you apply first 1000 ka 70, you will get 700. Then next 70 and then 53, not 63, 72, 72, 67, 0 to 1000, 70 per 100, 1000 to 10,000, that's 9,000 tons, 53 per 100, 10,000 to 25,000. This slab of 15 has 42 per 100 and balance has got 29 by 100. So instead of saying orally फटाफट बोलने के चक्कर में slip of tongue unnecessarily was taking place. 70, 53, 42, 29. Correct? Now they are asking you between 10,000 and 25. मतलब first 10,000 का compute करना पड़ेगा. First 10,000 का, in this slab you get 700, in this slab you get 4770. That means total becomes 5470 and then balance will be 42. So 5470 plus 42, that is given to us in option A. Benefit of tonnage scheme is available to qualifying companies having a qualifying ship. Which of the following is a qualifying ship? मतलब not disqualified. Fishing is disqualified, harbor or ferry is disqualified, Sea-going ship with tonnage of 15 or more, that is accepted, and factory ship also disqualified. So, C. For calculating tonnage exceeding 25,000, what will be the income? See, 700, 4770, then in this slab we get 6,300. 15,000 ke upar when we apply 42 by 100, so we'll get 700 plus 4770 plus 6,300 and plus 29 by 100 on the balance. So if you add all this, you will get 11,770 plus 29 per 100 for the excess over 25,000. When option of calculating tonnage income as per tonnage tax scheme is taken, what is the effect? Any loss allowance from 30 to 43B would be deemed, of course, presumptive hai, matlab deemed to be taken. No set of carry forward, no deduction under chapter 6A, everything as per PGBP is done. This is going to be your final taxable income. Lakshmi Private Limited is a qualifying company engaged. So you will not get any, let me be clear about that question. You will not get any deduction, any set of anything. This answer is your final answer. Lakshmi Private Limited is a qualifying company engaged in shipping business and has a qualifying ship. It has availed the option of calculating income as per tonnage. Ship has 9,000 ka capacity. Expense obviously will be irrelevant. They are asking you to compute the income per day. Income per day कैसे होएगा? 0 to 1000. तो 70 per 100 वापस orally बोलेगा, बोलते बोलते slip of tongue होएगा. 700. And then can I say 8,000 के ऊपर we will apply 53? Only 8. Full slab is not existing. So 8,000 into 53. I have already solved it for you. First 1000 tons के लिए you will be having 700. Then balance के ऊपर 53 by 100. 4240 per day income 4740 multiply by number of days, but that is not asked. 4740 4940 because 700 plus 4240 4940 will be your answer, and that will make it your option B. 4940 700 plus 4240 4940. So first 1000 700 balance 53 4940. Let's go ahead. This is the case study that I was talking about. So couple of concepts also will be covered here because it is ICAI case study. We are doing it. Honestly speaking, we all know what is the relevance of tonnage tax scheme. But then that does not mean that you leave the lecture for the day, because we have penalties. Lot of questions in exam are asked on especially that 270A penalty. And today's lecture will comprise of TDS also. So what do we have? BMT Shipping Company is an Indian company having its place of effective management in India. So qualifying company. It owns 3 vessels, out of which 2 are qualifying ships. So we are interested only in those 2. The third is not qualifying, so normal income will be calculated. Registered tonnage of the 2 qualifying vessels is 33,840 tons, 230 kgs, 24,952 tons, 370 kgs respectively. And if financial year 21-22, they have given number of days. Tons and number of days will always be given. So first ka we have 33,240 230 kgs and 212 days, and second ka we have 24,952 370 kgs 347. We all know what is the system. I would like to remind you, kgs will be ignored. This will be taken to nearest 100. So I think here we will get 33,800, and here nearest 100 will be upper because it is 52. So that will be 25,000 tons, and then we'll multiply by number of days. We'll get the tonnage income of both the ships. The WDV of assets for tax purposes is given to you. See, even if you are following, this is the concept that I want you to understand. Even if you are following tonnage tax scheme for presumptive taxation purposes, you have to calculate WDV of all blocks. This is same as presumptive taxation in PGBP also. You may take presumptive, but you have to calculate WDV of all blocks, because in future if you ever leave the presumptive and you come in normal, so you will need the WDV. And thus WDV has to be calculated. We have calculated the WDV. We may or may not require this WDV for the simple reason that we must have taken presumptive. So we will go for presumptive. But why is this WDV required? 2 reasons. If we leave presumptive, then WDV is needed. Second reason, we have a third ship which is not qualifying. They said total it has 3 ships, 2 are qualifying. So this total WDV will be divided into your qualifying ship and non-qualifying ship. Qualifying ship we will not charge depreciation. Why we will not charge depreciation on the qualifying ship? Because it will be taken care of in presumptive. But non-qualifying we have to take depreciation, because on non-qualifying actual profit will be offered to tax. So actual profit will give you actual depreciation deduction. Let's be clear. Total WDV includes of all 3 ships. Out of that 2 are going in presumptive. So we won't get depreciation. But on the third ship, we will take depreciation because it is an actual. Now, how to split this? The rule in tonnage tax scheme, I am telling you the rule. Rule is, you do one thing, take the book WDV. See, this is WDV for tax purposes. But at the same time, there will be some depreciation that we will charge in books. In tax, we make one block of all assets where one amount is the total amount of all the assets. So, all three ships ka total is this. But in books, will we make separate depreciation calculation for every individual asset? That is the difference in depreciation as per books and tax. So, this is the WDV of our first ship, second ship and third ship as per books of accounts. That means this is the total WDV of our qualifying ship. That comes to, I think, 850 and non-qualifying ship 230. Total being 1080. What is the total WDV as per tax of the three ships together? 1200. And what is the book value? Qualifying ship ka total book value is 850 and non-qualifying ship ka 230, because we will have to split this depreciation. That I believe you have understood. And we need this value out of 1200, and the rule is simple. Book value of this divided by, this is the proportion. If you are ever asked, find out the WDV of the qualifying ship for tax purposes, then you will find out like this, in proportion of book value to the total book value. So, book value of qualifying ship upon total book value of qualifying ship, book value of non-qualifying ship upon total value of all the ships, book value of qualifying upon total of all, and book value of non-qualifying upon total of all. That ratio may we will apportion this WDV, and we will find out the tax WDV of qualifying, non-qualifying. Obviously, non-qualifying we will be taking depreciation. So, we have learnt a new concept today, that book value ke ratio mein tax WDV will be apportioned between qualifying and non-qualifying ship. Is that clear? Profit from core activity is 70 lakhs. Matlab main business activity 70 lakh. Profit from incidental activity 14 lakh. Means what is the total profit as per books of accounts? 84 lakh. Total profit as per books of accounts is going to be 84 lakh. We also call it the relevant shipping income. What is relevant shipping income? The actual profit as per books of accounts from the qualifying ship is called the relevant shipping income. What is the relevant shipping income? Actual from main and incidental. Of course, we know that in incidental there is a limit. It cannot exceed 0.25% of the turnover from main activity, and if there is any excess, that excess will get added in our taxable income. But what is that total relevant shipping income? Core and incidental together 84. And book profit also are calculated at 100 lakhs. Now, you will be thinking, sir, tonnage tax scheme mein to book profit ka less side pe bhi subtract, no, in MAT, relevant shipping income. But we will subtract only the income of the qualifying ship. Please be clear, two qualifying ships. Together they will give me the relevant shipping income, which we will less in MAT 115 JB. But the profits that we have on this other ship, iska jo book profit hai, uspe MAT will be calculated, and that book profit we have already calculated 100 lakhs. Matlab when we compute book profit, on the less side 14 adjustments, we have an entry relevant shipping income of a tonnage tax company. That relevant shipping income means this total, the total from the eligible qualifying ships, that total, that's 84. That is already subtracted, and after subtracting for this third ship, we will have MAT also, and that book profit is 100 lakhs. So, we also have the book profit figure. That's the data of BMT shipping company. Now, they give you one more shipping company. LMN shipping company is a foreign company whose place of effective management is outside India. Oh, that means, can I say this company, tonnage tax scheme is not going to be available? Because tonnage tax scheme is only for Indian company, POEM in India. And iska gross receipt is India is 630. A foreign company has got gross receipt in India nahi hai, total is 630, which they are giving us breakup. Place where the goods are shipped. Goods shipped at India, outside India. And place where amount is received. So, goods shipped at India, you have received money in India, outside India. For, I hope you have realized, foreign shipping companies, we will apply presumptive taxation of 44B 7.5%. So, this will be a case of tonnage tax scheme, and this will be a case of 44B presumptive taxation 7.5. For that, we have to take turnover. What is the rule of 44B? Suddenly, we are leaving tonnage tax scheme and we are going to PGBP presumptive taxation. What is the rule? If the place of journey is in India, we have to take the total turnover. and if it is outside India, we have to see only the money received in India. That means this turnover will not be taken, this will be removed, and we will take this total, that's 350 and 180, 530 will be the total, जिसके ऊपर we will apply 7.5% because it's a foreign company, it won't get tonnage tax scheme, it will get. So two अलग-अलग company, Indian foreign, one tonnage tax scheme, 144B, together merged into one case study, and that is what they have put in front of you. From the above information, choose the most appropriate answer. What would be the tonnage income of BMT? We have already decided that we will take for 2 ships. We already know the calculation. 1000, 10,000, 25,000, 70, 53, 42, 29. Multiply by number of days. They are asking us the tonnage income. Tonnage income. We will restrict ourselves to tonnage income of main activity. We all know that in that we have to add excess incidental profit. And we know that we have to add excess incidental profits. Okay. But they have not given data of turnover of main activity. They have given us book profit. They have given us profits. But they have given number of days, turnover is not given. So we will ignore that incidental profit wala part. We will only focus on the tonnage calculation. 2 ships ka tonnage, total will give us answer. That's the basic thing. This is also concept that we have already studied. New concept, what did I teach you today? Total WDV as per tax will be apportioned into qualifying and non-qualifying in the ratio of WDV as per books. But this is easy. We take the tons to the nearest 100. So 33,800 and 25,000. Let me remind you, this will become 33,800, this will become 25,000, nearest 100, kgs ignore nearest 100. Now, up to 25,000, this is fixed. Either to excess hai nahi because this is 25,000. Here on the excess of whatever we have, I think 8,300 ka we will apply 29 by 100, we'll get this. This will give us our income per day, and income per day when multiplied by number of days. You can verify these amounts on your calculator. This is going to be, to save time, I have solved these sums in advance. Tonnage income calculation 71, 20, 450. Accordingly, the option that we are getting is option C. What would be the WDV of the qualifying ships? Now that concept will help you. What would be the WDV? Take 1200 and 1200 apportion in the ratio as per book value. So qualifying ships ka 850 divided by 1080. So what we will do? 1200 into 850 divided by 1080. What is the, I have explained this concept also for those who want screenshots. Total WDV is 1200. What is the book value of qualifying ship? 580 plus 270, 850. So that's 850 and 230, total 1080. If they ask iska WDV, then in this ratio, not it. Wese this is not asked, irrelevant though, but still this will be this calculation. This is what they are asking, 850 by 1080. If you do, you will get 944.44 in the ratio of book value. They are asking qualifying ship. If they ask non-qualifying ship, of course, it will be 1200 into 230 upon 1080. But they are asking qualifying ship. So this is going to be our answer. So the new concept that we have studied first is book value as per tax, WDV as per tax will be a portion between qualifying and non-qualifying based on the book value of the qualifying and the non-qualifying ships. The minimum reserve requirement. Now this is also one new concept that I would like to teach you, that as per one of the sections of tonnage tax scheme, which is also not relevant because tonnage tax scheme they don't ask, we don't go into so much detail in our subjective classes. Minimum reserve requirement means whatever is your book profit, kya bola, whatever is your book profit, which will obviously be from your other than qualifying activity, because qualifying activity ka income to 84 we are subtracting. Of that book profit, minimum 20% of your book profit. Kitna? 20% of your book profit under section 115 JB has to be transferred to a special reserve. Reserve requirement, which you will use. जैसे SEZ में होता है ना, transfer to SEZ reinvestment reserve and then use it for your SEZ business. Exactly that, you have to transfer to reserve and use it for your tonnage business. Transfer to reserve, use it for your shipping business. Exactly that concept, and that provision given in this section is 20% of your book profit as per MAT. So what is your book profit as per MAT? 100. Iska 20% you have to transfer to that reserve, and therefore you will get your answer as 20 lakh rupees. 20% of your reserve. So two concepts we studied. WDV as per tax, a portion in what ratio? WDV as per books ka ratio, qualifying, non-qualifying. Second, you have to transfer to a special reserve like SEZ business. How much? 20% of your book profit as per MAT. 20% of your book profit as per MAT. Would the amount taxable under the provisions of the Income Tax Act, would any amount be taxable under the provisions of Income Tax Act if BMT company has transferred only 15 lakhs to tonnage reserve instead of 20? तो एक बात बताओ, required is how much? 20 and you transfer only 15. Therefore, what is the shortfall? 20 कैसा आया? I hope you understand. 20, how did we derive? 20% of book profit. So we were required to transfer from the previous case 20, but we transferred, question is saying 15. What is the shortfall? 5. And one last rule, 3 rules I am teaching you about tonnage tax scheme. One last rule, then I will revise all the 3. One last rule, that whatever is the shortfall ka proportion, can I say this was the requirement and this you have transferred. What is the proportion of shortfall? 25%. 25% of your relevant shipping income will be taxable if there is any shortfall. Whatever is the proportion of shortfall. In this case, it is 25%. 25%. What is your relevant shipping income? Main plus incidental together, 84 is your relevant shipping income. इस relevant shipping income के ऊपर percentage of shortfall in the ratio of shortfall. What was our total required? 20. What is our shortfall? We transfer only 15, so shortfall is 5. Taxable income over and above tonnage income. Tonnage income in the first option we calculated 71,20,000 something. And now in that income we will add. What's your relevant shipping income? Actual ka total. That means main activity core ka and incidental ka total. 84 into shortfall upon total. In the ratio of shortfall, that's 84 into 5 by 20. We will be adding back that 21 lakhs is going to be taxable. That 21 lakh is going to be taxable. So 3 concepts that we studied today in tonnage tax scheme, and I would like to revise those 3 concepts with you. Concept number 1, book value as per tax, matlab WDV as per tax has to be apportioned in qualifying, non-qualifying. In what ratio? The WDV as per books ka ratio. Qualifying, non-qualifying ka WDV as per books you take and apportion in that ratio your WDV as per tax. Second concept, book profit as per 115 JB ka 20% you have to transfer to special reserve. And third concept, if there is any shortfall in that transfer to special reserve, then the proportion of shortfall of your relevant shipping income. Take your relevant shipping income, apply the proportion of shortfall. With that, whatever answer you get in our question, it was 84 into 5 by 20. That amount of 21 will be added to your otherwise taxable income. You are paying tax as per tonnage tax scheme 7120. In that, you will add this 21 lakh. This will be taxable over and above. So these 3 new concepts of tonnage tax scheme, because of this case study I am discussing, otherwise we are generally not discussing all these concepts because they are not relevant. What shall be the income computed under 44B? Bola na LMN. Already turnover we have decided. Anything done in India, you have to take both. And outside India mein only if the money was received in India. So this total 530 ka, if you do 7.5%, I am sure I must have solved that only. No, I have not solved it. No problem, I have not solved it. 530 के ऊपर if you apply 7.5%, मेरे को देखना पड़ेगा because maybe because it was very easy I did not do it. 530 का 7.5% is giving me 39.75 and that is your option A. So LMN ka only one question is asked, case study they made, but they asked only one on 44B remaining tonnage tax scheme, and we have studied 3 new concepts today, one for WDV, one for reserve requirement and one for shortfall. I hope the case study of tonnage tax scheme is clear to you. Let's go ahead. Next chapter that we have, penalties ka chapter. Over the period, वैसे we had plenty of questions already, but with time we have added a lot of new questions, all questions of case study digest, lot of questions. So we will go and complete our chapter. Penalties. Maximum questions of case study are on 270 A calculation, but we will have other questions also. About 50 questions or we have. Let's see. What will be the penalty for non-furnishing of report beyond 1 month by reporting entity which is required to do CBC report? First 1 month 5,000 per day, but after 1 month it is going to be 15,000 and after order 50,000 per day. Where there is under-reporting of income which leads to misreporting of income, penalty will be dash. For misreporting, what is the penalty percentage? 200%. On failure to keep, retain or maintain books of accounts documents as required by 44AA, what will be the penalty? Books of accounts not maintained. These are easy cases, 25,000. What will be the penalty for failure to get account or obtain audit report? Without option also you should answer. 0.5% of turnover or 1,50,000. whichever is lower. What will be the penalty where Mr. Jitendra failed to comply with notice of 142.1, 142.1, 142.2, 143 or 143 all the cases? 10,000 per default. What will be the penalty for submission of inaccurate information in CBC report? If you don't submit, then the delay is a separate thing, but wrong information will attract a penalty of 5 lakh rupees flat. Which of the following cases are not included with the scope of underreported income? What is not included in underreported income? Amount of income in which you offer explanation? Yes. Where amount of income is determined on the basis of estimate? Yes. Intangible addition. Amount of undisclosed income where penalty is leviable under 271 AAB, such cases, and therefore this won't be levied. That means all the cases it won't come under 270A. Which in cases where return of income has been filed, which of the following situations will be considered as underreporting? Income assessed is greater than income under 143.1. Yes, you will not compare with return, you will compare with intimation, right? Income is greater than basic exemption, nahi, chapter 6 and nahi, this only is right. Which of the following things is a necessity required to do for making an application to AO for grant of immunity from imposition of penalty? If you want immunity from penalty, what do you need to do? One, you have to pay your tax and interest, and second, 270A ka penalty immunity is granted only if you don't appeal against the assessment order. That means you have to do A and B, you have to do both. Penalty proceeding under 270A has been initiated due to claim of expenditure not substantiated. Can immunity be granted? Claim of expenditure not substantiated means it becomes a case of misreporting. Misreporting ka kya cases hai? Income not shown, investment not shown, expense not proven, international transaction not reported, false entry. Do you remember? And thus it is misreporting. In misreporting cases, immunity is not be allowed. Can immunity be granted? No. Mr. Ram, a resident individual, age 65 years, has not furnished return of income for AY 22-23. However, total income assessed is 144. What will be the penalty leviable? So obviously, can I say we will have to calculate underreported tax, and underreporting mein penalty is 50%. Tax calculate karne ke time pe, let me be clear. New regime is available only if assessee opts. I hope you don't make this mistake. So by default, it will go in old regime. And if you are in old regime, then how will we calculate? 2 lakh ke upar 30% plus 1 lakh 12,500. 1 lakh 10,000. 2 lakh ka 30% plus 1 lakh 10 because assessee senior citizen, that's 1 lakh 70 plus 4% cess अगर आप ऐड करेगा तो you'll get tax liability of 176,800 और उसके ऊपर half penalty 88,400. That will be your answer. मित्रों, if you calculate by using normal वाला slabs, not senior citizen, you'll get 172,500 plus 4% और उसका 50% कर दिया ना तो you'll get this as your answer. But that's not the correct answer because senior citizen. If you don't pay attention on this, you'll choose option A, which is wrong. I hope you are clear. What is the penalty under 271 FA for not submitting SOFT? 500 per day, after notice 500, after notice expires 1000. So 100 nahi 500,000, both B and C depending upon situation. What is the rate of penalty for undisclosed income found in search and undisclosed income is not admitted? If you admit, then it will be 30% of undisclosed income. If you don't admit, then it will be 60% of your undisclosed income. Raghu Private Bank did not file SOFT. Department sent a notice requiring them to file SFT till 30th November. So from 1st June, it will be 500 per day. And bank filed the same on 19 December. After notice also 19 days ka delay. Penalty for the period from 1st December to 19 December. Matlab, they are not asking you penalty of June, July, August, September, October, November. They are asking penalty of the month of December. So that is only 19 days, and after expiry of notice, can I say 19 days ka 1000 ke hisab se 19,000. 271 FAA leviable when soft contains willful wrong information. Willful wrong information ka penalty 50,000. See, penalties may, if you remember the quantum, you directly get your marks. Penalty can be reduced or waived under 273A by whom? Who has that facility? Can I say that facility is available to CIT or Principal Commissioner? Principal Commissioner can reduce waive penalty in which of the following conditions? Assessee has made true and full disclosure, cooperated, payment of tax interest, yes, all of the above. Penalty under section 271 FAA will be leviable of rupees 50,000 with respect to SFT, subject to which of the following conditions? Inaccuracy due to failure to comply with due diligence requirement. Yes. Person is aware of inaccuracy. Person discovers the inaccuracy but does not fail. Any kind of wrong information that you give in SFT, it will be liable. It will be a case of 50,000. For the purpose of offences and prosecution, which of the following individual will be guilty for AOP? All nahi, eldermost nahi, that person who is controlling the affairs of the AOP. Mr. A deducted TDS of 12,000 but fails to pay the same to the government. Then what will be the imprisonment? Dekho, as far as prosecution is concerned, you may not learn the jail term of prosecution. For whatever may be the reason, that is not important also. But you should be able to answer these few MCQs that we have now for jail term. If you are able to answer these few MCQs, then no problem. Those who don't deposit TDS within the time, minimum period of 3 months and up to a maximum period of 7 years ka jail term can be prescribed. If order made under 132 with respect to search and seizure is contravened, then uska imprisonment, again offences and prosecution mein, uska imprisonment is 2 years. So if you want, you can go through the offences chart that's given in the main textbook jo hai na hamara, uske andar there is a chart given, there is a table given. If you want, you do it, otherwise you don't do it. Do these MCQs, that much is enough. In case of books of accounts taken into custody under search and seizure under 132, which of the following things will be presumed? Books belong to the person, contents are to handwriting, yes, all of the above. Imposition of penalty, imposition of fine and launching of prosecution can be made. Who can give prosecution? The right of prosecution is given only to magistrate. The total turnover of Sunshine Limited during financial year 21-22 was 10 crore. It is liable to get its accounts audited. Dekho, if your cash receipts and payments both are within 5%, then that limit has changed. Otherwise, question is saying liable. However, due to some dispute, the process have not been completed. The directors have approached you for knowing for the consequences. Matlab failure of tax audit. They are option mein, they are giving fees penalty, fees penalty. Let me be clear. Tax audit ka non-compliance is a case of penalty, not of fees. It's not late filing of return. And what is the quantum? 0.5% of turnover. What is the quantum? 0.5% of turnover or 1,50,000, whichever is lower. Iske andar koi imprisonment not prescribed. Mr. Ram, resident individual, age 55 years, has not furnished return of income. However, the total income assessed is 12 lakh rupees. Determine the amount of penalty leviable. अब आप बोलेगा सर 12 लाख का क्वेश्चन वी हैव ऑलरेडी सॉल्व्ड, अंडर रिपोर्टिंग का पेनल्टी किधर गया? दैट वाज आल्सो मिस्टर राम. दिस इज आल्सो मिस्टर राम. सेम. सो पेनल्टी आल्सो सेम. जय श्री राम. नो, ही इज 55 इयर्स. तो इसका टैक्स कैलकुलेशन अलग होगा मित्रों. इसका टैक्स विल बी 2 लाख का 30% प्लस 1,12,500. Here it was senior citizen. Here it is not senior citizen. 172,500 plus 4%. 179,400 and half मतलब 50%. अंडर रिपोर्टिंग अज्यूम करके हाफ कर रहे हैं. 89,700 being 50% of your tax payable on 12 lakh. That is going to be your answer. 89,700. अगर सीनियर सिटीजन का रेट वापस लगा दिया then you'll get 88,400 whatever. That is wrong. So difference in tax rate is changing the penalty. A private bank has not filed SOFT for financial year for financial transaction. A notice was issued on 1st October. मतलब क्या नहीं से June, July, August, September 4 months 500 per day. 1st October notice issued गधेड़ा still 500 per day. Requiring to furnish up to 31st October till that date it will be 500 per day and it was furnished on 15th November. So from 1st November to 15th November it will be 1,000 per day. During the notice period 500, after notice period 1,000. That means June, July, August, September, October 5 months के लिए we will take 500 per day and 15 days का 1,000 per day accordingly. What do we get? June, July, August, September, October का 500 के हिसाब से 76,500, November 15 days का 1,000 के हिसाब से 15, total being 91,500. 91,500 will be your penalty. Dinesh, a resident individual of age 47 years, has not furnished his return of income for AY 22-23. Total income assessed is 18 lakh rupees. Is penalty leviable? If so, what is the quantum? So, similar to the two questions of Ram, 47 years है मतलब we will apply 1,12,500 and then 8 lakh का 30% plus cess उसका half. Very easy calculation. Let me show you the calculation. फटाफट 8 lakh का 30% plus 1,12,500. This plus 4% cess. This will be your total tax. and it's a case of under reporting. So total tax ka half 183,300 will be your penalty. Yes, penalty of 183,300. On the basis of the given facts, answer the questions 29 to 33. So now we will have all the case study based questions of penalties. MNO firm is liable to tax at 30. Thank you for giving me. Even if you were not giving, am I always aware that firm ka tax rate is 30? Following are the particulars. As per return, most useless information. As per 143, 150 lakhs, 143, 365, 147, 85. That means this will also attract penalty. 15 lakh under reported income, difference means calculate tax on 65, tax on 50, under reported tax, yes, and this will also result in under reporting. So we have two cases of penalty. Mr. N, a resident individual of the age 58 years and is a partner. Matlab this is a firm and is a partner in this firm and has not furnished return of income. That means he has also a defaulter. However, his income is 15 lakh. So he has not furnished return, his income is 15. Now answer the questions on the basis of the facts. MNO is deemed to have underreported its income for which of the reasons? Reason 1, income under 143(1) exceeds income as per return. Rubbish. Return amount is ignored for penalty purposes. Scrutiny compared with intimation and reassessment compared with scrutiny. But return is got no relevance, absolutely no relevance. Income assessed under 143(3) exceeds intimation income. Yes, this case. And income under 147 exceeds this. Yes, this case. So answer will be 2 and 3. N is deemed to have underreported. N also not filed return, no? For what reason? Just because he is a partner? Nahi. That is the liability of the firm. Just because he is partner, he has not indulged in underreporting because of this reason. He has not filed return, yes, and his assessed income exceeds 250. Then he is liable, no? Then he is liable. Otherwise, he would have not been liable only. And then in that case, for him also, the answer will be 2 and 3. Assuming that underreporting is not on account of misreporting, so 50%. And her penalty ke question mein they will give you misreporting or no misreporting, misreporting or no misreporting. So 50% and misreporting hota to 200%. But for that, of course, we have to calculate the underreported tax. None of the additions or disallowance qualifies under this. Matlab it's a case of penalty. You don't fall in those cases, giving satisfactory explanation or intangible addition or all those cases. What will be the penalty leviable at the time of assessment? They are asking, means they are asking this situation, assessment, not at the time of reassessment. Assessment may calculate penalty due to underreporting. 3 steps. Underreported income directly difference 15 lakh I can find out. But underreported tax kaisa hoega? Tax on 65, tax on 50 and uska 50%. So I have calculated this for you. Underreported income is 15 lakh. Underreported tax iske upar 30% plus cess. No surcharge re. Firm ka surcharge after 1 crore. Matlab if you don't know rate of tax, you can't answer this. 30% plus cess. 50 lakhs ke upar 30% plus cess. This is your underreported tax and it's underreporting, so half. Misreporting hota to double hota. 2,34,000 is going to be your penalty. 2,34,000. Correct? Assuming that underreporting is on account of misreporting. Abhi misreporting bola to 200. Okay? And what will be the penalty leviable at the time of reassessment? Now, they are asking this penalty assuming misreporting. Step 1, underreported income same, 20 lakhs hoega. Calculate tax on 85 and 65. But the penalty this time will be double because it is a case of misreporting. So, this will be your underreported income. Iska tax, you do 30%, still only cess. Surcharge firm ke upar after 1 crore, never make this mistake. Iska tax, difference will be the underreported tax. This time we will do double and double mein 1248 we are getting in the form of option C. Assuming that underreporting is not on account of misreporting. So 50%. Misreporting 200, underreporting 50. That is clear to everyone. And what is the underreported income of N and the penalty leviable on N? Penalty to aap kar lega. What is the income? 15 lakh. 15 lakh ka tax. 5 lakh ka 30%. 150 plus 1,12,500 because it's 58. 260 to 500 plus cess karega. You will get total tax. You will divide 273 you get. You will divide by 2, you will get the penalty. 136,500. And 136,500 is given 2 options. Matlab ye dono to nahi hai. Now they are asking underreported income. This is that place where you have got a lot of chance of going wrong. Huge probability of going wrong. You will feel, sir, he has not filed return, matlab he has not declared anything. If he has not declared anything, it means, sir, that full 15 lakh is underreported income. But that is not true. I would like to remind you of the subjective theory. In cases of no ROI, underreported income ka definition is assessed income minus basic exemption. Assessed income minus basic. Yes, tax you will calculate on full 15 lakh. But if you are asked underreported income, that will not be 15 lakh. Underreported income will be minus basic exemption. Tax calculate on 15 lakh. Apply penalty on that. Apply penalty on that. So, I have solved this. This will be underreported income. And what is underreported tax? Tax on full 15 lakh. So, 5 lakh ka 30 plus 1 lakh 12, 262, 500 plus this and this I have already calculated. This is something that we took as example. Lot of cases in normal class also. 15 lakh ka tax 273 learn ho gaya hai. But the point is that the main case here is that do not take this. Only the income minus basic exemption will be your underreported income. Ganesh and Rajesh are resident Indians of 60 years and 80 years respectively, have not furnished return for 21-22. However, their total income assessed is Ganesh ka income in best judgment is 8 lakh, Rajesh ka income is 5 lakh. Is penalty levy? Suno, both are resident, matlab higher basic exemption will be available. तो गणेश का बेसिक एग्जेम्पशन इज 3 लाख, राजेश का मित्रों 5 लाख है एंड दैट्स हिज इनकम. तो राजेश इज तो नॉट रिक्वायर्ड. दे आर टेस्टिंग वेदर यू हैव नॉलेज ऑफ बेसिक एग्जेम्पशन. अच्छा, नॉन रेसिडेंट होता तो बोथ विल बी लायबल फॉर पेनल्टी बिकॉज 250 इज बेसिक एग्जेम्पशन. बट here their income is 8 lakh and 5 lakh. This is basic exemption of Rajesh. Rajesh will not pay penalty. We have to calculate Ganesh ka penalty. Calculate tax on it and that tax ka half. Correct or no? So no penalty for both Ganesh and Rajesh. This is wrong because Ganesh has to pay penalty. Yes, they are giving you penalty for both. No, because Rajesh does not have to pay penalty. So दोनों का penalty हो ही नहीं सकता. Rajesh will not have penalty and Ganesh will have penalty. So ABC all are wrong. And if ABC all are wrong, you want to save time, you can save time. No penalty for Rajesh, पर Ganesh का whatever amount they give, you have to take it as right only. तो Ganesh का income कर लेते, Rajesh का तो nil, Ganesh का 8 lakh, first 250 zero, then 60 years अरे गधेड़ा 12,500 मत कर देना by mistake. Otherwise you will say sir 36,400 is not matching. I know that D is the answer, but 36,400 is not matching. Senior citizen. So 5 lakh तक 10,000, then 5 lakh to 8 lakh, 3 lakh का 20% 60. 70,000 plus 4%, 70,800 is your tax and half will be your penalty. So 70,800 and then half, that will give you your penalty. 36,400 match हो रहा है. Slabs wrong लगा है, it may not match, but I still think that you will be able to give the right answer to this MCQ because no other option is anyways left with us. Let's go ahead. Again, now we have a case study. 35, 36, 37, 38, 4 questions. MCS Private Limited is a company engaged in service of consultancy and business advisory. It provides various services like financial management, project advisory, mergers, valuation. During financial year 21-22, it provided services and total revenue amounted to 70 crore rupees. This is the first year of operation and the company thinks it has faltered in various compliances. Moreover, during the year, it has received the following loans from various vendors due to some business need. So it has taken cash loans. 25 lakh loan taken from A, 21,000 loan taken from B, and 11,000 taken from B. All are cash loans. I can at least guess this much that A ka loan no violation. A ka loan yes violation because it is 20,000 or more. B ka yes, but C ka no violation. Itna to I can apply to. They are basically testing 269 SS. I have guessed it. Case study mein I have already given you a hint in one of the past episodes. Chahiye to you can actually read this questions first. Penalty for availing cash loans, penalty for repayment of cash loans, violation of penalty while receiving payment from Shyam and Akhil. Those characters will come, and time limit for tax audit report. On that basis, we can check the questions and then we can decide our answers. But one thing is clear. This is a penalty. This is a case of penalty. Here there will be no violation. Further, they have repaid the following cash loans. So they have repaid A ke liye. They have repaid the following loans. A ka 8,000 they have repaid in cash. Then 2,50,000 repaid through account paycheck. So this case cannot be a repayment penalty. Cash can be a repayment penalty. A ka through RTGS cannot be a penalty. A ka 15,000 through cross check. So This 8,000 and this 15,000 is only violation because the other two transactions are through allowed mode. So these are the only two violations, 8 and 15. Don't forget that outstanding is already more than 20,000. We have to see the outstanding before repayment. We don't have to see the repayment ka amount. We have to see the outstanding before repayment. MCS Private Limited has also received, now will come those characters, Shyam and Akhil, 2 lakh for services rendered to Mr. Shyam through bearer check. So we gave services to Shyam and received money through bearer check. And cash for services rendered to Ankit. Ankit दिया है क्या Akhil दिया? Question में Akhil. Or you change his name. This is not Ankit. Change his name to Akhil. 90,000. Furthermore, it does not know about applicability of tax audit. That also we see turnover is 70 crore. So we know tax audit is applicable. Okay. So that also is an MCQ. So what are our 4 MCQs? 269 SS penalty, 269 T penalty. We have accepted this 2 lakh and this 90,000 in other than the 3 allowable modes. So this is bearer check and this is cash. So iska penalty they are asking 269 ST, 2 lakh or more in cash in other than the 3 allowable modes. And tax audit ka penalty. Let's see. What is the penalty leviable on availing the cash loan? 269 SS. When we took 25 lakh, it was violation. When we took 21,000, it was violation. But 11,000 was not violation. And thus that penalty can only be 25 lakh, 21,000. Only that can be your penalty. Full amount cannot be your penalty. Penalty leviable for repayment. First of all, these two transactions are allowed transaction. Contravention is only these two. So total is 23. And if you go by the amount, penalty in violation under 271E, repayment comes in 271E. So it cannot come in 271D. When you accept the cash loan, 271D is applicable. Repayment will come in 271E. But how much? Only violation is about, this is not a violation, this is not a violation. Only violation is 23,000. This is your answer. Yes, we know of a concept that if we have paid penalty at the time of accepting the loan, same penalty will not be applicable at the time of repayment. I am aware of that. You are also aware of that. But in the options that they give you, 23 is your only option. If there was one more option, no penalty has already paid at the time of availing the loan, that will be the most appropriate. What is the criteria? This is your penalty, but anything already paid that you adjust. But that they are not asking. What is the violation amount? 15 plus 8, 23 is the violation liable for penalty. For now, we have to focus only on that. Violation amount will be subjected to penalty. So 23,000 is going to be your penalty. Has he violated anything while accepting payment from Shyam and Akhil? Listen, he has accepted 2 lakh from Shyam through bearer check, not allowed. 269 ST, 100% penalty. Just like loan, you have 2 lakh ka limit. In other than loan cases, loan mein you have 20 ka limit, 269 SS and 269 T. But 269 ST, the limit is 2 lakh. So it's a violation. But Akhil is only 90,000. So no violation. That means we will be liable only on 2 lakh. Contravention of 269 ST from Shyam, penalty of 2 lakh. No contravention on accepting from Akhil. This is only the right answer. Contravention total 290. No. Why Akhil ka case is not a contravention? Because 90,000 is not a violation. Only 2 lakh is a violation. 269 SU nahi, it's a violation of 269 ST. SU kya hai? If last year ka turnover was more than 50 crore, so this year accept payment through Beam UPI, RuPay, debit card and all. No violation? Wrong. And we have already decided. That is our answer. What is the time limit for filing tax audit report? Is tax audit applicable? Yes. An amount of penalty. First of all, return ka due date is October. Tax audit ka due date is till September. So this option cancel. If they ask return due date, it will be October. Mitro, October. Audit will be September. And in September, 2 options are given. What is the penalty leviable? 0.5% of turnover. So 70 crore ka 0.5% is 35 lakh. But that can be maximum 150. So 35 cannot be your answer. 35 lakh or 150, whichever is lower. So C will be your answer. Following are the details given in case of Adarsh Textiles, which is a partnership firm. Total income as per return irrelevant. We are interested only in 143.1 compared with assessment. As per 143.1, 1 crore 10 lakh. As per scrutiny assessment, 1 crore 50. So there is under reporting and reassessment. So there is under reporting here. There is under reporting here 1 penalty, 2 penalty. Compute the under reported income on which penalty will be leviable on reassessment. They are asking reassessment. What is the amount on which penalty will be leviable on reassessment? मतलब basically only इन दोनों का difference. Very easy question. 50 lakh is your amount. Assessment के time पे on 40 lakh होता, but reassessment के time पे on 50 lakh. Now again we have a case study where we have 4 questions, 40 to 44. एक बार इस बार shall we change the system? Shall we read the question first, which is a good thing to focus on case studies. Which of the following statements regarding penalty of addition of 50,000 towards personal expenditure? That means there is some personal expenditure, some statements are given, which is the true. So we will see when we read that. What is the penalty leviable at 270A? If it's a case of not on account of misreporting, so we will be applying 50%. So under reporting ka penalty we have to calculate at the time of scrutiny. Penalty leviable at the time of reassessment considering it is misreporting. So basically under reporting misreporting calculation is going to come at the time of scrutiny. We will apply under reporting penalty, and at the time of reassessment we will apply misreporting. Assuming that additions are not on account of misreporting, तो वापस change करके they are making 50%. He wants to claim immunity from imposition of penalty. So what are the conditions for immunity from imposition of penalty? And out of 3 lakh made by order passed, 1 lakh is on account of false entry. तो false entry का भी एक penalty है. False entry, omitted entry, 271 D, 100% of the false entry. So that is also. So we get a rough idea about what is the question. Actually, case study में you can follow this system also, and you can follow the normal system. Basically, both ways are possible. First reading the questions will give you a better idea about the case study, but the choice is strictly yours. Okay. Z Private Limited files return of income on 30th September 22 declaring loss of 14 lakhs and rate of income tax is 30. मतलब company is in old regime, मतलब that is very clear. Okay, company is in old regime and it is showing loss of 14 lakh rupees. Return ka data is irrelevant, absolutely irrelevant. What we will be interested in the data as per intimation. Tax auditor in his audit report submitted under 44AB reported disallowance of 50,000. मतलब whatever is given by the auditor will be added back. You need to know this also. Auditor ka adjustment will be taken as an adjustment while processing your return under 143(1) towards personal expenditure, as no evidence was produced in support. However, Z did not disallow in computing. No problem. In 143(1) we will disallow, and if we disallow 50, that means you were showing loss of 14, but we will convert that loss to 13.5 lakhs. You showed loss of 14 lakhs, but in intimation we will add back. Intimation mein there are adjustments like arithmetical error, incorrect claim, anything shown by auditor in the audit report but not taken, then assessing officer will add. So if you are ever asked what is the income declared by assessee, you will say negative 13.5. This amount will be ignored. Any adjustment in intimation is not liable for penalty, and this adjustment will come in intimation, so not liable for penalty. This we will compare with scrutiny and reassessment. Return of income was processed by CPC by adding 50,000, and they have clearly said, matlab loss shown by assessee 14 lakh but disallowed by auditor, and thus in intimation 1350, assessee has declared 1350. That's our final answer. The return was selected for scrutiny assessment, and loss as per normal provisions was 1050. That means there is addition of 3 lakh rupees. This is your underreported income at the time of scrutiny. On this we have to assume total income. Loss cases difference को assume as total income. We have to calculate tax, और उसके ऊपर they have asked us penalty. We have already read the question. Then again assessment was opened in 147 and the loss in the preceding order was converted to income. मतलब 1050 का loss is converted into 2 lakh. मतलब can I say the net underreported income will be 12.5 lakh, negative 10.5 converting into positive 2. मतलब understand the chronology. Return ignore. Intimation 1350, that became in scrutiny 1050. So 3 lakh is underreported income in scrutiny, and then 1050 became positive 2. That means 1250 is underreported income in reassessment. From the above information, choose ignore mat. Now we have an idea. Which of the following statement regarding penalty ka addition 50,000, regarding penalty on addition of 50,000 is correct? I'll tell you what. 50,000 that is added back is a mistake under 143(1). And let's be clear, that will not be liable for Penalty will be on the difference between 1350 and 1050 and 1050 and positive 2 lakh. Intimation के अंदर there is never any penalty. Since Z has claimed deduction of personal expenditure, should be considered to have concealed his income? No. Underreporting is on account of claiming personal expenditure can be constituted as misreporting. No. Anything that has been notified by auditor and adjusted in intimation, not liable for penalty. Since it's an addition in 143(1), no penalty. This is right. No penalty is leviable if Z offers an explanation and the AO is satisfied. No need to offer any explanation. Without explanation also, intimation का adjustments, no penalty. Let's be clear. Intimation का adjustment, no penalty. Correct? तो वो 50,000 no penalty. Then 1350 to 1050 and 1050 to positive 2, we will leave penalty. What is the penalty at the time of assessment? Assessment मतलब 3 lakh. If it's on account of, not on account of misreporting. मतलब 3 lakh के ऊपर tax and उसका half. Very easy. 3 lakh is the underreported income. And in loss cases directly इसके ऊपर we have to calculate tax. Plus says this, and if you apply half. Why half, sir? Because underreporting. So 41 का answer is going to be 46,800. 41 का answer 4600. Now at the time of reassessment, assuming misreporting, तो reassessment में पहली बात तो underreported income was 1250. इस पे टैक्स और वो टैक्स का डबल मित्रों, डबल. तो लेट्स कैलकुलेट. 1250 negative 1050 का positive 2 का difference. Assume this as the total income 30% basic plus 4% HEC. That if you calculate, that will give you your tax, and इसका double, sir, double, because it's a case of misreporting. So penalty will be double. Assuming that the addition on 147 are not misreporting. So independent question, but only on account of underreporting, and he wants immunity from penalty. देखो immunity from penalty misreporting में allowed नहीं. Immunity from penalty is allowed only in underreporting. इसलिए they had to change the question. What are the conditions that have to be satisfied? What are the conditions? Okay. Pay tax and interest as per the order within the specified time. Yes, you have to pay tax and interest. Pay tax as per the order. No, you have to pay tax and interest and not appeal. Tax and interest and not appeal. So if they give you pay tax, that's a right answer. But if you have to compare with another option, pay tax and interest. So pay tax and interest is correct, and pay only tax is not correct. Contest the additions made. No, you will not be allowed to contest. No appeal should be filed. So pay tax and interest, don't file appeal. 1 and 4 will be your correct answers. That will be option D. Out of addition of 3 lakh made by order passed under 143(3), an amount of 1 lakh is account of false entry deliberately made, then already that penalty of 270 is allowed, or applicable, not allowed, but applicable. What are the other consequences that will be attracted? What are the other consequences? Whenever there is false entry, you will be liable for 100% penalty of the amount of false entry. 100%. That will be over and above 270. So underreporting plus false entry ka penalty 100%. So false entries of 1 lakh, 1 lakh ka penalty will be levied. So 30,000 is wrong. Once penalty, this no other penalty, wrong. 270A and 271 AAD simultaneously can be levied, and prosecution also will be initiated. 271 AAD will be levied of 1 lakh, and prosecution means you will be liable for jail term also. So that will be your option A. Now we have one more case study, 45 to 48. So if you observe, penalty ke question mein we have got plenty of case studies. We have some more case studies, but this is still on underreporting, misreporting only. Okay, let's see what are the case studies that we have. 45 to 48. एक बार क्या है, दो कंपनी दिया, flip and company trip. Let's do this. What would be the penalty leviable? What would be the penalty leviable? 270A, 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 and failure to report international. अच्छा ये तो अलग ही है. It is only 45, 46, 47, 48. So all the questions are on 270A only. Data is also on that only. चलो देखते. Following are the particulars of income. Flip and company is a partnership firm. So let's be clear. And Trip Limited is a Indian company. This will affect tax rate, and tax rate will affect your amount of penalty. समझ में आता है? So firm and company. As per return 42 lakh. Ignore, return is irrelevant. Intimation is 51 and assessment is 75. So this is a case of underreporting. And then 75 became 1 crore 1 lakh. Again a case of underreporting. ठीक है, तो दो बार penalty on Flip, the firm. As per return, ignore. As per intimation, 8 lakh which became 250. So that's 550 ka under reporting at the time of scrutiny, and then 250 became positive 750. So difference is 10 lakh. I hope you understand. Loss cases, see the difference. So 550 under reported and 10 lakh under reported. So दो penalty flip and company, दो penalty Trip Limited. Trip Limited is a manufacturing company incorporated in 2007. मतलब 115 BAB not applicable. Old company. Total turnover of Trip Limited of 1920 was 380 crores. Oh, and not applied for 115. See, BAB is not available. 115 BAA not applied. In other words, let's be clear. Therefore, assessee is in old regime. देखो firm के लिए you'll directly apply 30%, but company के लिए multiple rates, no. So company is in old regime. And old regime में 2 साल पहले का turnover given, no. तो listen, when you are calculating tax, no, on the underreported income, you will have to calculate at 25% because turnover was up to 400 crore. मतलब MAT का knowledge combined with penalty का knowledge is being tested. 25% will be the applicable rate of tax. So firm का rate will be 30, flip and company, and Trip Limited के लिए 25%. Now answer the questions. Tax rate can only help you to calculate penalty. What would be the penalty leviable under 270A in case of flip the firm at the time of assessment? Assessment मतलब ये वाला case. If the additions are not on account of misreporting, मतलब 50%, मतलब क्या कर, tax find out कर and apply 50%. So 51 lakh and 75 lakh. This is your underreported income. इसका tax 30% plus cess. 30% plus cess you can do. Difference will be 748 800 and 374 400 will be your penalty. 374 400. This is going to be your penalty. Penalty leviable for flip, again the firm at the time of reassessment if it is on account of misreporting. So this time it will be 200%. But first we will have to find out underreported tax. And this time it will be on this 75 and 101 ka difference. We will have to find out underreported tax, and वो difference पे we will apply 200%. Double no misreported. अभी कोई को बोलेगा सर 75 का टैक्स तो we have already computed पहले 2340. 1 crore 1 lakh के ऊपर apply 30% and cess. When income is greater than 1 crore, surcharge of firm will come 12%. So first thing, surcharge should click to you. Second, for firm there is only one rate 12%. If it was company after 1 crore it is 7%. Foreign company 2%. After 10 crore it becomes 12 and 5. For individual HOF after 1 crore it becomes 15%. This is firm and 12% surcharge should click to you. So 75 without surcharge, but 1 crore 1 lakh with surcharge. So there are some people जिसको surcharge click नहीं होगा, they will end up choosing one of the wrong answers. There are some people who realize it's a case of surcharge. There is some danger that is going to happen with you. You want to see that? Kidding. देखो 75 का tax तो we know. 2340 we have already calculated it. Underreported income is 26 lakh. When you calculate tax on 1 crore 1 lakh, basic will be 30 lakh 30,000. Very good. Only few people will add surcharge. Those who forget this surcharge, they are already wrong. And after this, some people will add cess. Teeding. Marginal relief will be given. If the income of the firm is exact 1 crore, then basic tax will be 30 and no surcharge. So at exact 1 crore, my tax is coming to 30. So the difference in income is only 1 lakh. So the difference in tax cannot be more than 1 lakh. If income is increasing by 1 lakh, at 1 crore I have 30 lakh tax. Then at 1 crore 1 lakh, with marginal relief, I cannot have this tax. This will be my tax. This will be my tax. Some people will not remember surcharge. Some people will not remember marginal relief. Khatam, tata, finish, bye bye, goodbye, gaya. Marginal relief 31, add 4%. That will be your tax on 1 crore 1 lakh. So if you don't remember surcharge or marginal relief, you will be wrong here. Of course, this will be your 2340, which is same as 75 without surcharge. 888 is your underreported tax. Some people are already wrong. अभी इधर हाफ किया ना तो मरेगा. इट्स अ केस ऑफ मित्रों, इट्स अ केस ऑफ मिस रिपोर्टिंग. सो 888 का डबल 1768 is going to be your answer. 1768. What would be the penalty leviable under 270 in case of trip limited at the time of assessment if it is not on account of misreporting? Assessment of trip limited मतलब 550 not on account of misreporting. Very easy. 550 लेकिन ये easy में in the chaos, don't forget now it will not be 30. It's the company old regime up to 400 crore 25 plus 4%. This is your tax and half because not on account of misreporting. So 71,500 is going to be your penalty. And trip limited at the time of reassessment if it is misreporting. So this time 200% and at the time of reassessment matlab this difference negative 250 positive 750 ka difference 10 lakh under reported income. On this under reported income you will apply 25% and 4% same rate. So you get this as tax and double because it is a case of misreporting. So this time your penalty is going to be 5,20,000. That's how complicated they have made case studies. And penalty I think took a lot of time, more time than some of the big chapters because of so many calculations that you have to do. But after this practice, now you cannot, you should not. If you now go wrong, that means there is something definitely wrong here. You cannot go wrong in under reporting, misreporting now. Okay, except if you go wrong in tax calculation, that cannot be. You cannot do anything. XYZ Limited has failed to report international transaction, which is a specified foreign company. What would be the penalty? Failure to report. First of all, you are not maintaining data document information. So you will be liable for 2% of the value of transaction. And it's also a case of misreporting. Misreporting because you have not reported international transaction. So 200% and thus both A and C, both penalties will get attracted. Okay. 50 का just because the answer by mistake bold रह गया does not mean that you don't read the question. बोला sir हो गया 50 we know the answer. नहीं. Vyomesh, a non-resident individual at 61 years has not furnished return of income. However, total income assessed is 13 lakh rupees. Determine the quantum of penalty. 3 lakh का 30% and senior citizens of 1 lakh 10. एक लाफा देगा खींच के non-resident and thus 3 lakh ka 30, 1 lakh 12,500 because higher basic exemption not available. That will give you basic tax, add HEC, total tax and half will be your penalty. So 105,300 being 50% of tax payable. That was your penalties with all the case studies. Hereby we complete our chapter penalties. Let's go ahead. I have got a good amount of target. My target is to complete TDS today. Okay, and TDS has got 150 questions. So even if there is an overshoot in the time that we will be taking, but you have to, and TDS ke andar last mein there are again all the new case studies are at the end of the chapter. Okay, so for now, but we will move on to our chapter miscellaneous provisions. Fatafat. If a company issuing shares receives amount of how much, it has to be reported. SFT requires reporting of company receives 10 lakh or more as share contribution from any shareholder, it has to report that in SFT. Payment of 1,20,000 made to institution issuing credit card with respect to credit card issued. Whether the company is required to report this transaction? Yes. Yes. If the payment is 1 lakh, more than 1 lakh, then you have to make. Due date for submitting SFT is going to be 31st May of the assessment year. Banking company is required to submit SFT with respect of transaction cash deposit made of. Whenever a person makes cash deposit of 10 lakh or more, you have to report. In case of dissolved firm, any notice which is to be sent, kisko bhejenge? Dissolved firm will be deemed to be in existence. Any partner excluding minor, so adult partner. X Patel NBFC gave loan to which is to be repayment is to be made in cash. Installment is 15,000. How much penalty is leviable? 269T hai, not 269ST. Nil because it's a financial institution. Income and tax has to be rounded off to the nearest multiple of 10. Who can not be authorized representative? Cannot be. CA holding COP can be, employee can be, relative can be, but friend of assessee cannot be. Penalty for violation of 269 SU. Failure to provide facility of customer to pay in those modes. It is going to be 5,000 per day of default. 269 S2 does not cover. RuPay card is allowed. UPI is allowed. So both are allowed, but it does not cover payment through Paytm. Notice cannot be sent by post. It is allowed. Electronic it is allowed, but it cannot be sent. Recently there was a Supreme Court judgment where they said that if WhatsApp notice comes and blue tick is given, that means notice is served. But till now, income tax has not adopted that mode. So nobody is going to send you on WhatsApp registered number. Notice after total partition of HUF should be sent to. After partition of HUF, we send it normally to Karta, but if our Karta is not alive, then we will have to send to adult member. We have to send it to not one adult member, but all adult member. The most appropriate answer is, see, this is the answer. But if Karta is not alive, we have to cater to that. Option is given, then you have to choose that as the option, and we cannot send it to any. That happens in firm. In HUF, it is to be sent to all the members. Notice after dissolution of firm should be sent. In firm, it can be sent to any partner excluding minor, as the dissolved firm will be deemed to be in existence. License office of non-resident should be furnishing that statement within 60 days from end of the year. Information given by assessee of the assessee can be always to media, only if public interest, never be given if assessee permits. Information can be given if it's public interest. Registered valuer can appear before IT authority, yes, ITAT, yes, but not High Court, Supreme Court, because valuation is a question of law. So only A and B. Mr. X, a CA with COP, is a manager in ABC Limited. What can he do? Can he represent in tax matters? Yes. But can he perform the audit? No. So both not allowed and none not allowed. Representation ka duty is allowed. A proprietor wishes to get his tax audit done. Who will not be allowed to do his tax audit? His partner not allowed, his wife not allowed, friend is allowed. So A and B. A person disqualified to become a tax auditor cannot represent in tax matters. False. You cannot do representation work, but you can do, you cannot do certification work, but you can do representation work. A notice will be considered invalid if it is not signed correct. Wrong AY, no clerical error. Wrong date, no clerical error. After due date, correct. So all of them is wrong. A and D is right. A is right, D is right. B and C are wrong. So A is right, D is right, but most appropriate will be F, which will allow us to take both A and D. Likewise, a notice will be considered as valid if valid not signed is invalid. Wrong AY, clerical error, where valid. Wrong date, clerical error, valid. After due date, no. So this also no. A and D are wrong. So most appropriate will be G. B and C are right. If both are right, then G is the option that you will have to select. Income tax rules can be made by whom? Who can make income tax rules? Who has the power? CBDT can make the income tax rules. 269 ST is applicable on what? From bank if you withdraw? No, 269 ST is not applicable. Anything covered in 269 SS? Not applicable. Any award given by government? Not applicable. But if you purchase from a dealer registered under GST, purchases from a seller registered under GST, in that case you don't have any exception. Exceptions to 269 ST are government, bank, or anything covered under 269 SS. The provisions relating to taxation of indirect transfer, which came in Finance Act 2012, it came as an aftermath of the decision of the Apex Court. वो जो था ना, where foreign holding company, Indian enterprise which is controlled by a foreign enterprise, it has to inform. That happened in the case of Vodafone, a very very controversial judgment. Vodafone के case के अंदर it was held, and that is why that indirect transfer provision came. When a business is succeeded by another person, income from the start of accounting year of succession till the date of succession, that income will be assessed obviously in the hands of predecessor. Income from the beginning till the date of succession will be taxable in the hands of the predecessor. That's our chapter, Miscellaneous Provisions. Let's then, ladies and gentlemen, go on to our chapter TDS. Big chapter, lot of questions, 150 questions, but I have the target of completing it today. The sums I have already solved, so that should take less time. Explanation will require some time, and the easy question I will be doing a little fast. Okay, so let's see, what do we have? A cooperative society having gross receipts of 10 lakh in the immediately preceding previous year, paid 20,000 as interest to members. What is the TDS required to be deducted? Cooperative society to member not. Agar turnover last year exceeds 50 crore, then yes, but otherwise no. 194 DA required deduction of TDS on LIC proceeds which are not exempt. So if the proceeds are taxable, then only this section is going to be applicable. Tax under 194D has to be deducted at source only if the amount of insurance commission exceeds rupees. This is a useless section, you ignore it normally, but in MCQ we cover it up. That is insurance commission. So this is insurance proceeds received by policyholder. This is commission to agent. X, a non-resident company paid 21,000 to Tina resident commission for purpose of soliciting insurance business. TDS will be deducted. Obviously, it won't be C, J or H. Insurance commission is covered in 194D. 194D casts responsibility on any person to deduct a TDS at the at the rates in force. At some places they write rates in force, and institute in answers writes 5%, and thus we will have to go by 5%. Mr. Adinath, a resident, is due to receive 325 on LIC policy taken on 31st March 12, for which the sum assured is 3 lakh and annual premium is 55,000. When the policy was taken on 31st March 2012, limit was 20. इसके ऊपर if you apply 20%, you will get 60,000. Our premium is within the limit, and therefore the TDS required to be deducted will be 0. Rate of TDS for LIC maturity proceeds, मतलब 194DA, 5% on the taxable income, not on the gross payment but the net taxable income, 5%. Wizcraft, a company, is a proprietorship. अच्छा, company नहीं, proprietorship, with turnover of 40 lakh in previous year 2021. It made payment of 6 lakh to Thisara Pereira, Sri Lankan cricketer. What is the TDS? अरे individual not covered by the turnover criteria last year. तो अभी if you pay to non-resident, you have to deduct, and 20.8 is the tax rate for foreign national sportsmen. Mr. Dimitri Vegas came for a concert in India organized by Wingcraft, and he was paid 90 lakh. How much TDS is required to be deducted? Non-resident foreign national will not go in 194J. He will fall in 194E. 20%, and because the payee is non-resident, then we will be adding cess also. Under TDS under 194G, TDS on payment of commission on lottery tickets. Payer should be who and payee can be who. Payee has to be resident because it is 5%, but payer can be any person. So any person and resident. Who is required to deduct TDS on payment of commission under 194H? Firm, yes. Company, yes. Individual HUF turnover exceeding 1 crore last year. All persons other than individual HUF only if turnover last year exceeded 1 crore in business, 50 lakh in profession. Threshold limit of deduction of TDS of non-resident sports person under 194E. Sports person के लिए there is, non-resident के लिए there is no threshold because it is a special rate of tax. So directly we will apply TDS. TDS at dash is attracted on payment made by RBI to bank for tax collection. When RBI is making payment to bank for tax collection, it will be immune from TDS. BSNL paid commission of 20,000 to PCO franchisee. What TDS? Same as last case. RBI to bank for collection of tax and BSNL to PCO franchisee. Again, there will be no TDS in this case also. No TDS under section 194H, that is commission, if required, if the income does not exceed. What is the commission ka threshold? So this is testing you on the rates, monetary limits, threshold, payer, payee, resident, non-resident, everything will get tested in these 150 questions plus the institute case studies also. State whether true or false in cases of banks where credit of interest is made to provisioning account for macro monitoring, TDS is required to be deducted. Macro monitoring, no TDS. 194A puts liability to deduct TDS on interest under section 194A on whom? Any person? No. All persons other than individual HUF if turnover exceeded the criteria. Company, any person except individual HUF not having turnover exceeding. So if they have to deduct. Not having, they don't have to deduct. So this will be your answer. 194A TDS on payment of interest. Payer should be who? Payer can be any person, resident or non-resident. Payee has to be resident. So any person and resident. Bank of India paid 35,000 at interest on time deposit to Mr. Annu, age 65 years. What will be the TDS? 35,000. What will be the TDS? Mitro, no TDS. Normal limit is 40,000 and senior citizen ka to 50,000. No TDS is required to be deducted. Bank of India paid 7,000 to Mr. Innu, age अच्छा normal है तो अभी नहीं. This has to exceed 40, this has to exceed 50. This will still remain a case of no TDS. Rate of TDS under 194A for interest is going to be 10%, most popular rate. Partnership firm gave interest to partners ABC, TDS required. Between firm and partners, no TDS. Bank paid 15,000 as saving account interest to Mr. Sunny. as age 35 years. What is the TDS? Saving account के ऊपर there is no TDS and it is not exceeding the threshold also. Saving account no TDS, any amount, only FD RD there will be TDS. Babulal has taken a loan from bank 150 on 29/3/21. He paid 15,000 as interest to bank on 31st March 22. Turnover in business is 3 crore in the last year. What will be the TDS? Whenever you are making payment to banks or financial institution, that is also immune from 194. TDS is not required to be deducted under 194A in the following situations. Interest paid by banking company to individual if amount exceeds 40, required to be deducted. They are asking not required. Interest paid by firm to company if the amount exceeds 5. Firm is paying, then required to deduct. Interest on FD in the name of registrar of court. This is a judgment. UCO Bank का case law के lecture में it is covered with full course and crash course. Students, it's a judgment of UCO Bank. No TDS is required. This is the answer. And LLP to firm to LLP, this also required to be deducted. This is actually a judgment. So in this case, it was held no TDS if FD is in the name of the registrar of the court. Interest paid by partnership firm to Miss Narayana, debtor 60,000. Turnover of the firm in the business was 40 lakh last year. TDS, acha last year ka turnover is relevant only for individual HUF. Firm has to deduct TDS and it's not a partner, it's a debtor 60. So what is the TDS ka rate? 10%. So 26,000, 60,000 के ऊपर 6,000. Question 26, 60,000 के ऊपर 6,000 will be your TDS. Interest on income tax refund received by Cyrus, a resident of 12,000 for central government. TDS required to be deducted by the central government. Income tax refund के ऊपर there will be no TDS on it. Interest on income tax refund also immune, no TDS. 194B TDS on winning from lottery, crossword puzzle, horse race, it will be applicable when payer can be any person, and in BBB payee also resident 30, non-resident 30 plus surcharge plus HEC, matlab payer payee both can be any person. 194C payment of contractor when the payer here payee has to be resident. So payer can be any person, payee will be resident. Mr. Krishna won first prize in lottery ticket and prize was Maruti car worth 5 lakh. Will there be TDS? Yes, in winnings more than 10,000, TDS will come. Even if it is in kind, 30% will apply and then there is that system. Pay 30% to the company and it will release your prize. Om Mathur, a resident, won 10,000 from KBC. What is the TDS required to be deducted? Things are 30%, 3,000. Mitro, here comes the importance of equal to. Monetary limit is 10,000, it has to be more than 10,000 and thus no TDS. Individual will deduct TDS only if turnover in the preceding year exceeds in business 1 crore, profession 50 lakh. It is applicable for ACH. Yes, all the sections of ACH it is applicable. Hira Exports has entered into a contract with bus company MNS Limited for providing bus facilities for staff and 1,20,000 was paid. What will be the required TDS? We are paying for transport services. 1,20,000 is exceeding the threshold. It's a business payment and the payee is other than individual HUF. Individual HUF 1%, other than individual HUF we will apply 2% and accordingly 2,400. ABC REIT gave its building on rent to Mr. Q. Rent to be received from Q is 250. What will be the TDS? For REIT, real estate ka rent is going to be exempt and on exempt income there will be no TDS. Exempt income, no TDS. In which of the following situations TDS is not required to be deducted? Individual HUF to contractor for personal purpose, correct, not required to be deducted, C and J. Single payment up to 30,000, correct. Aggregate payment up to 1 lakh, correct, and that means all the cases no TDS. Rate of TDS under 194C, payment to be dash if the pay is individual HUF and dash if the pay is other. If it is individual HUF, then first blank mein aayega 1, other mein aayega 2, and thus 1 and 2 given in option C. 194I rent ka is not applicable when payment to CNF because it is covered in 194C. Payment does not exceed 240 because it is monetary limit. Remittance of passenger service fee, that also, that Supreme Court judgment, Japan Airlines, Singapore Airlines covered in 194C and thus none of the above. No deduction is required to be made under section 194I when amount of such income paid does not exceed. What is the threshold in rent wala section? 2,40,000. Rate of TDS under 194IA, sale of immovable property, is 1%. 194IA TDS on payment of immovable property is not applicable. On what? Only on rural agricultural land. See, compulsory acquisition wala section is not applicable to urban rural both, but immovable property 194 IA sale का section में only rural is excluded, urban will attract. 194 IA TDS on transfer of certain immovable property other than agricultural income. Transferee should be what? In all the questions till now, payer, payee, it was given. But mitro, here it is not payer, payee, transferor, transferee. Do you understand? I am transferring my asset, matlab I am the seller, I am the payee, and transferee is the buyer, he is the payer. In all the above questions, first fill in the blank was payer, second was payee, but here first is payee, second is payer, and thus first blank के आंसर में it will be resident, second के आंसर में it will be any person, and you are having strong likelihood of going wrong here. TDS under section 194 IA shall be paid to central government within how much time? IA के लिए the time limit is 30 days from the end of the month in which deduction is made. Every person responsible for 194 IA. What is the form for TDS certificate? Form 16B is going to be TDS certificate. Which of the following situations 194 IA is not applicable? Compulsory acquisition? Yes, because it's a case of LA. Less than 50 lakh? Yes, because equal to 50 lakh starts IA. Rural agricultural land? Yes, and that means all of the above. All three are right. Not applicable in all three cases. That means all of the above. Not applicable in all three cases. Form 16B TDS under 194 IA has to be submitted to buyer within how many days from due date of return? Within 15 days from due date of return. Liability to deduct tax at source in case of salary arises only at the time of payment. For deducting TDS under section 192, employer will consider which of the following? Salary income, of course. Particulars of other income, yes. Loss, but only under house property, all of the above. Rate of deduction of TDS under 192 is not given. It has to be at the applicable rate of tax. Proof is required to be submitted by employee to employer giving particulars of whenever you take HRA ka deduction, no, you have to give the name, address and PAN of landlord if you are giving rent of more than 1 lakh. LTC mein you have to give the proof of expenditure. You have to give any proof of eligible exemption deduction. Regarding interest income of house property, you have to give proof of all of the above. Employer shall furnish to employee a statement in form number which giving particulars of perquisite. See, what is the value of perquisite? Employer will make payment to a third party, that will become my perquisite. So employee will not know. So that certificate will be given by the employer. उसका एक अलग form है, 12BA करके एक form है in income tax. If employee makes withdrawal before continuous service of how many years, RPF will be subjected to tax. What is the lock-in period? 5 years. So before 5 years, if you withdraw, you will be liable for tax. Mr. Wasim is an employee of Jubilant Food Works since 5th June 18. He resigned on 31st March 22 and withdrew 45,000 in his EPF account. Calculate the TDS. Is it taxable? Yes, because he has left the job before 5 years. Yes, it is taxable. Yes, it is taxable. But TDS nahi aayega because the monetary limit of the section has not been exceeded. Because the monetary limit has not been exceeded. What is the monetary limit in your? What is the monetary limit in your section for 192A? 50,000 equal to also covered. Taxable income hai, but there will be no TDS. 0. Next, Miss Jaina is an employee of hotel company. Employer distributed tips received from customer to Jaina. These tips are taxable under which head of income? These tips are not received in course of employment. Thus, they cannot be taxable under salary. They will be taxable. ये भी एक Supreme Court का judgment है. ITC case law lecture which is provided to full course and crash course students. उसके अंदर this concept is covered. Under section 192A, that is deduction of TDS on premature taxable withdrawal from EPF. TDS at what percent is deducted where the employee does not furnish PAN. Normally, if you don't furnish PAN, so you get 20%, but here it is going to be MMR. In this, it is MMR. And there are a couple of sections where the rate that will be applicable, like 194, or the rate that will be applicable in that case is going to be 5%. Rajesh purchased 7.75% saving taxable bonds 2018 and received interest of 8,000. What will be the TDS? It has been specifically excluded. ये इतना important section नहीं है. 193 interest on securities, but this has been excluded from TDS. 193, that is deduction of TDS, cast responsibility on dash payer and dash pay. Again, payer can be any person, payee has to be resident. Togani Limited paid interest on debentures or 6,500 to Mr. Lalit, a resident. What is the TDS? 193 का rate भी आपको बता रहा हूँ. Rate of TDS in 193 is 10%, and thus if you apply 10%, 650 is what you will get. Transportation charges paid by purchaser to owner of natural gas who transports the gas, and transportation charges paid by purchaser to third party who transported the gas. Whether there will be TDS in which of the following cases? Supposingly you are a gas company, I purchase gas from you and I pay you money including transportation charges. That means it's a purchase transaction. I have purchased gas from the owner of gas. If I purchase, that means it's a purchase transaction, and thus there will be no TDS in this case. But I am purchasing gas from you and transportation is done by an independent entity and I pay that independent entity only for transport. In that case, there will be yes TDS, and accordingly your option will be first ka no and second ka yes. Mr. Meer engaged in the business of hiring goods carriages, owned 6 carriages during the year, received 45,000 from Meena Private Limited for hiring of goods carriage. He furnished his declaration along with PAN to Meena Private Limited. What will be the TDS required to be deducted? If PAN and declaration is furnished, तो transporter का TDS नहीं आएगा. 194 IB, TDS on payment of rent, cast responsibility on whom? Individual HUF जिसका last year का turnover did not cross the threshold and thus they did not get covered in 194. I will get covered. So individual HUF exceeding the turnover last year, with turnover companies turnover not exceeding 60 का answer will be C. Rate of TDS under 194 IB 5%, full year का rent 5% TDS from last month. TDS will be applicable on last month का rent, but we will apply full year का TDS from last month का rent. Mr. Ramawat paid rent of 7,20,000, that is 60,000 per month for 21-22. He has turnover in business 85 lakhs in last year. Of course, therefore he comes in 194 IB. Is he required to deduct? 194 I नहीं, but IB के अंदर full year का TDS will be deducted from last month. So yes, 5% on 720 because the monthly rent is exceeding 50,000. So yes, he will be required to deduct 36,000. 194 IB has to be deducted only if the amount of rent exceeds 50,000 per month or part. State whether true or false deduction under section 194 IB is to be made at the time of credit of rent for the last month of the previous year or last month of the tenancy is vacated. Yes, it is not required to be done every month, last month of the year or last month of tenancy. IB ka TDS will come only and only on land and building. IB ka TDS is not on other assets. I is applicable on all. Which of the following section of TDS? 10 is not required to be taken. 10 is for regular filing of TDS return. 194 IA happens once in lifetime. IB happens once in a year. No need to take 10. 194J TDS on professional fees or technical services if the payee is engaged in business of operation of call center. तो क्या rate रहेगा? 2% is going to be the rate. Normal is 10 but call center का 2%. 194J is applicable for TDS on payment of professional fees, technical services, royalty, non-compete fees, all of the above. 194 IC casts responsibility on any person responsible for payment to resident sum by way of consideration to deduct income tax. Joint development agreement, monetary amount के ऊपर there will be TDS of 10%. In which of the following conditions TDS under 194J will not be applicable? Individual HUF for personal purposes, correct है. Individual HUF जिसका last year का turnover in business does not exceed 1 crore, correct. Payment does not exceed 30, that means all of the above. Final answer, all of the above. XYZ Limited made payment of 28,000 to Mohan for fees for professional services and 25,000 towards FTS. Total bhale it is 53, but we get 30,000 separate limit, so no TDS. Mr. Harish transferred computer software to Mr. Prakash for 50. Prakash paid 50,000 and deducted TDS. Hey bhai sab, it's sale of software. This is not royalty. We are not using the software. We are selling the software. So TDS is not required. But Mr. Prakash has deducted. So no problem. If TDS is not applicable and it is deducted, it is never a problem. Mr. Harish will get credit. Problem arises if TDS is applicable and not deducted. If you have deducted, no problem. No problem. Mr. Prakash further transferred this computer software to Mr. Amit for 70,000 and gave a declaration along with PAN. Then is TDS required to be boss? It's sale of software. TDS was not required in the first transaction also. So Second also not required. Deduct हुआ, you get credit, but it's okay, it was not required. 194 LA compulsory acquisition के केस में what is the TDS का rate? 194 LA 10%. TPA made payment to hospital on behalf of insurance companies for settlement of claim. देखो, actually insurance company appoints a third party to check the claim, and insurance company gives money to the TPA. It is known as third party administrator, and this company makes payment to hospital. That means, can I say hospital matlab professional fees, and we pay to hospital personal purpose, but TPA is making a business payment, receiving from insurance company and making payment to hospital, and therefore yes, TDS will get attracted. 194J. Central government compulsorily acquired immovable property of Mr. D'Souza, paid 170. What is the TDS? 0, because the monetary limit of compulsory acquisition is 2,50,000. 194 LB required deduction of TDS by infrastructure debt fund on payment of interest to किसका? 194 LB is going to be specifically created for non-resident, where 5% का concessional rate is applicable. LA requires deduction of TDS on what? LA is compulsory acquisition, that can happen only for immovable property. Indian company paid 55,000 as interest on long-term bonds to Ms. Deepika, non-resident, for 21-22. She did not furnish PAN. What will be the TDS? So whenever payee does not furnish PAN, it is 20%, but when it is bonds ka interest being paid to non-resident, in that section the requirement of PAN is not there, and thus if PAN is not required, we will deduct at the applicable rate of non-resident. On that long-term bonds, non-resident will be eligible for 115A के अंदर long-term bonds के अंदर Indian company long-term bonds any business 5%. If there was one more option 5% plus cess, we would have taken that. 194 LD TDS on interest on government securities or rupee denominated bonds of Indian company payable to FII or QFI. What is the rate? That is also going to be 5%. QFI 5%. Rupee denominated bonds 5%. खाली IFSC 1420 से हुआ तो it will be 4%. 194 LB rate of TDS from infrastructure debt fund is going to be, because it is non-resident, 5%. ABC Limited domestic company paid dividend on 1,20,000 to Smith, non-resident. TDS required to be deducted. Resident होता ना तो 194 में we deduct 10%, but non-resident के लिए we have to deduct full tax at applicable rates. My bad. When we say applicable rates, you cannot make the mistake of not knowing that dividend income of non-resident under 115A is taxable at 20%. Non-resident का rule is TDS equal to tax. TDS equal to tax. What is the rate of tax for non-resident on dividend income? Exactly, that will be the TDS. Had it been any other income like rental income, professional fees, then it would have been rates in force. But one thing be clear, dividend ka section of 10% will not be applicable. Normal rate will not be as per 195, it will be 20% because it falls in special rate. TDS under section 195 is required to be deducted. Kiska? Here we deduct non-resident ka TDS. That means this cannot be our answer. But who? Any person, resident to non-resident or non-resident to non-resident, income taxable in India, then 195 is applicable. State whether true or false. 195 requires deduction on TDS any payment made to non-resident. In this section, non-resident will deduct TDS of another non-resident only if the former has business connection. Nice, sir. If the income is taxable in India, then TDS is liable to be deducted. If income is taxable in India, then TDS, ladies and gentlemen, will be deducted. Why paid 5,50,000 as commission to mutual fund? What will be the TDS deducted? Section 196. Any payment to mutual fund or government, no TDS. State whether true or false. Payer is compulsorily required to deduct TDS at rate specified in the respective section. He cannot deduct lower rate. नहीं. जब भी section 197 low TDS या 197A for certain sections, then you get the facility of not deducting also. Partnership firm paid rent of 3,20,000 to Ms. Shraddha, resident 50 years for machinery taken on rent. Shraddha furnishes declaration writing in duplicate that tax on her estimated total income, which is included in computing her total income, there will be 0 tax. Tax on her estimated total income will be 0. Matlab basically, can I see she is giving the declaration form 15G? Will there be TDS? You will say, sir, 194I के section में 15G का facility is allowed. But don't forget, if the payment is more than basic exemption limit, that facility will not be allowed. That means this time the answer of no TDS will be wrong. 15G can be submitted, but payment more than basic exemption, that facility is not allowed. That is allowed only if it is senior citizen, 15H. So TDS will come. Now what rate? 10 नहीं मित्रों, मशीनरी है, मशीनरी. तो 320 का 2% लगा के you will get 6,400. TDS is not required to be deducted in which of the following cases? Offshore banking unit paying to non-resident, not required. NPS trust, not required. Bank को payment किया, not required. TDS is not required. All the cases. Due date of payment of TDS, very easy, 7th of the next month. Partnership firm paid rent of 270 to Shraddha resident 50 years for machinery. She furnishes an instrument in writing and partnership firm, that tax will be 0 because after deduction her total income is 240. Will the form be accepted? Will there be TDS? Once again, if the payment is more than basic exemption, in that case form will not be accepted. There will be TDS and it is machinery. So I think 2%, 270 ka 2%. If you will apply, you will get 5,400. Due date for filing TDS return of December quarter, 31st. So basically this is knowledge of whether you know the due dates or no. Due date of payment of TDS for month of March. Normally it is 7th of the next month, but for March it is going to be 30th April. Interest as -% is leviable where TDS is deducted but not paid. Non-deduction 1%, but not payment के लिए it is going to be 1.5%. Due date for filing TDS return for March quarter. March quarter का payment is April, no? So return can be filed up to 31st May. Intimation with respect to processing of TDS return. Just like we get income tax में intimation, no? We get TDS में भी intimation. Earlier that time limit was same for income tax and TDS, 1 year from the end of the financial year in which the return is filed. In income tax intimation they have made it 9 months, but here it is going to be 1 year. Non-furnishing of PAN by deductee can, in case of winning from lottery, what will be the TDS? In non-furnishing of PAN is section rate or 20, whichever is higher. Section or 20, whichever is higher. In case of lottery, the section rate is 30 and accordingly we will stick to 30. Form 16A shall be issued quarterly within how many days? 16A is for all sections of TDS except salary and that sale of property and all, within 15 days. So if 31st is the due date of return, within 15 days we have to give this certificate. Salaries engaged in sale of coal. For coal, lignite, iron ore, what is the rate of TCS? Coal, lignite, iron ore, 1%. 206C1F. So now we have some questions on TCS. Every person being seller who receives amount of consideration of sale of motor car exceeding how much? Then there will be TCS. Motor car के अंदर more than 10 lakh. Mr. A seller sold car worth 15 lakh to Mr. B. TCS required to be collected is dash. Turnover of Mr. A last year was 105. Turnover has exceeded, then only individual will collect, and 15 lakh is exceeding the threshold. Once it is exceeding 10 lakh, 1%, 10%, once it is exceeding the threshold, 1% TCS will get attracted on the entire value. So 1% of 15 lakh, 15,000. Radha and Company, wholesaler of car, sold a car for 15 lakh to Sneha, a retailer. When the transaction is B2B, in that case, car wala TCS is not going to get attracted. Due date of depositing TCS, just like TDS, that is also 7th of the next month. According to 206C1F, that's the motor car wala provision. 1% is applicable to, it is not on total sale, that limit is per transaction. So 2 cars of 8 lakh each, no TCS. No TCS just because total is exceeding. So it is going to be per transaction. 1% on sale of motor car is to be collected by whom? Individual with last year ka turnover more than 1 crore. Yes, all assessees and individual HUF only if last year ka turnover exceeded the threshold. Due date of TDS statement for 31st. Statement matlab TDS ka return, that is going to be March quarter ke liye it will be 31st of May. For December quarter, the TDS return has to be furnished by 31st of January. An Indian resident wins 10,000 in a lottery. Which of the following statement is correct? 194 भी सब बोलेगा resident मतलब 30. गधा. 10,000 is not exceeding the monetary threshold and thus no TDS. Mr. A salaried individual pays rent of 51,000 to B from June 2021. Which of the following statement is true? No TDS. हाँ, salaried individual मतलब no TDS. More than 50,000, 194 IB. Every month at 10%? No. Every month at 5%? No. 5% of the annual rent will be deductible from March का rent. Full year का rent from March. Full year का TDS from last month. Full year का TDS from last month. That is the rule, correct? Salary paid by Messrs. RP and Company to its partner falls within the limits prescribed in 40B. Does RP and Company, is it required to deduct? See, any payment from firm to partner, Even if it is taxable for the partner, no TDS. So ideally our answer will be yes, nahi, no, nahi, no TDS, no TDS. But here they have played a weird game. Most people will answer B, no TDS. But the truth is, if it's a resident partner, no TDS. If it's a non-resident partner, then the rule is tax equal to TDS, tax equal to TDS, and whatever is his actual tax liability, we will have to deduct. Air India Limited paid 20 lakh to Airport Authority of India. This is that Supreme Court judgment. Japan Airlines, Singapore Airlines, 2% under 194C is going to get attracted. A Limited credited 28,000 professional fees, 27,000 fees for technical services to NAM. Total sum 55,000, but there will be no TDS as we are aware because the threshold is available for every payment. Professional fees, FTS, non-compete royalty, only director sitting fees, no threshold. Every rupee will attract TDS. Hari, a salaried individual, pays 55,000 rent to Raghav from June. Salaried but 194 IB. No TDS, wrong. 5% every month, no. 5% of the entire rent from the rent payable of March. Matlab full year TDS from March ka rent. That's your most appropriate answer. Arvind is engaged in the business of wholesale trade, has turnover of 90 lakhs last year and 210 lakh in the current year. Matlab last year it was 90 lakh. In 21-22 he paid salary of 8 lakh to Mr. Hari, a resident without TDS, and commission of 25,000 to Mr. Rajesh, a resident without TDS. What will be the disallowance? See, both are residents. So whenever you make payment to resident, disallowance is 30%. So what ideally people will do, 825 ka 30%, 825. In 194 ACHIJ only if individual ka last year ka turnover exceeded 1 crore. Last year ka turnover is 90 lakhs. So these sections ka TDS not applicable. Matlab commission ka section ka TDS not applicable. Some people will see this and say no TDS. Nahi, only aa cheez mein no TDS. Salary ka TDS liable to be deducted, and for non-deduction only this salary ka 30% will be disallowed. Commission ka TDS not applicable because last year ka turnover is not exceeding the threshold. So 2 lakh 40. ABC Limited took on sublease a building from Janvi with effect from 1st July 21 on rent of 20 per month. It took on hire machinery from 1st October on charges of 15,000 per month. Two separate agreements for sublease. Which of the following statement is correct with respect to the liability? I think building ka it is coming to 9 months. 20,000 into 9, 1 lakh. July se na? July, August, September, October, November, December, Jan, Feb, March, 9 months. 180. And 15,000 ka 6 months. So 90. 180 and 90 total rent paid is 2,70,000. Individually they are not exceeding 240, but aggregate per asset nahi hai. So 270 fully will attract TDS, jisme I think 180 will be liable for 180 hai na, building ka rent is 20,000 per month, so that will be liable for deduction of 10%, and 90,000 jo machinery, matlab for monetary limit we will add them, but for rate purposes building ka 10 and machinery ka 2, so 180 ka 10 and 90 ka 2%. No tax, wrong. Tax has to be deducted on 10% on rent of 2 lakh, including nahi, security deposit pe nahi aayega. Security deposit pe there will be no TDS. TDS has to be deducted at 10% on 2 lakh. No, please. TDS has to be deducted at 10% on 180 and 2% on 90,000. That's going to be your answer. Mudra Adco Limited Advertising Company has retained sum of 15 lakh towards charges for procuring and canvassing advertisement for 1 crore due to cloud television and remitted 85 lakh. Which of the following statement is going to be correct? This is again a case law based question. What do ad agencies do? I am a TV channel. I want ads on my TV channel. I approach the agency. Bola, you bring customers. You collect money from customers. You collect money from customers. You retain your commission and give us. That means the payer is not paying the money. Actually, the agent is recovering from customers and paying to the main company. That means if I, the television channel, I am making payment to the ad agency, then I will deduct TDS. Here it is not possible to deduct TDS, and thus it was held in the case law that this transaction not liable for TDS. X acquired house property at Mumbai from Y, a resident, for consideration of 90 lakhs. On same day, he made two separate transactions, thereby acquiring urban plot in Kolkata for 4950 and rural agricultural land for 60. Which of the following statement is correct? No TDS in all. Dekho, 90 lakh is exceeding the threshold of 50 lakhs or more. So TDS will get attracted. This is not exceeding the 50 lakh ka limit. Equal to 50 is also covered, but no TDS. And rural agricultural land, no TDS. That means only 90 lakh will attract TDS. Remaining will not attract TDS. So no TDS is wrong. 1% on all wrong. 1% on 90 and 4950 nahi. 4950 pe bhi nahi. TDS 1% on 90 and no TDS on the remaining two. So D is going to be your answer. Notified infrastructure debt fund eligible for 1047 pays interest 5 lakh to a company incorporated in a foreign country. Matlab foreign company is getting interest from infrastructure debt fund. Can I say 5% tax rate 115? Foreign company incurred expense. To hell with expense. Remember, special rate, no deduction of expense. Fund also pays 3 lakh to Mr. Frank, who is resident of NJ. So non-resident है ना, rate of tax will be 5% for both. But when it comes to TDS, इसके ऊपर we will deduct TDS at 5% plus cess. But इसका TDS for NJ, the TDS is going to be 30% plus cess. I hope you are clear. So no TDS, wrong answer. No TDS, wrong answer. 5.2 of 488 मतलब deduction of expense दिया, deduction of expense. No, gross income of 5 lakh पे आएगा. And for NJ 31.2. So only one is left. 5.2 on 5 lakh to foreign company and 31.2 of NJ. Mr. Valish is employed as manager with ABC Limited. Pays rent of 50,000 per month to his landlord. Which of the following statement is correct? Employee है मतलब 194I not applicable. IB अब बोलेगा सर 50 so full year का TDS from last month का rent not exceeding 50 and not exceeding 50 no TDS. Mr. Sanjay, a resident, and Andrew, a British citizen and non-resident, are both sports commentators deriving income of 5 lakh from commentaries. And some statements are given. So, matlab you have to choose which are correct. Sanjay is resident, so 194J will get covered. And Andrew is non-resident. So, वो sportsman वाला section 194 आ ही नहीं लगेगा. 195 will get attracted. Because Calcutta High Court income, he is not sportsman. So, 194J from Sanjay, yes. 194E from Andrew, no, that's only for sportsman, he is commentator. 195 from Andrew, correct. Andrew is not required to file return of income since TDS is deducted. No, that is only for sportsman, not for commentator. Sanjay is not required to file return of income if TDS is deducted. Rubbish. That is only for 115A, AC, BBA and 115G. Here there is no such facility. That means I think only statements 1 and 3 are correct. So option is C. Apple Iron Limited pays 10 lakh to a lawyer on 1st August 21 for professional services rendered by him to the company without TDS. Acha, failure to deduct TDS. Again, another payment of 5 lakh was due on 31st December. Company deducted tax before making payment on 31st December for the entire amount. मतलब 10 lakh का TDS and 5 lakh का TDS. दोनों का TDS is deducted from 5 lakh. Means on 10 lakh there is non-deduction. On 5 lakh there is no non-deduction. And this tax was paid on 30th March 22. If you deduct on 31st December, you should pay on 7th January. Matlab on that entire TDS of 15 lakh, whatever you deduct, lawyer will be professional fees. So you should know the section ka rate 10%. There will be non-payment. So 10,000 pe non-deduction and 10,000 pe non-payment and 5,000 pe non-payment, or you can say 15,000 pe non-payment. What will be the interest chargeable? Of course, this has to be solved and done with you. First 10 lakh ka TDS will be 1 lakh. 5 lakh ka TDS will be 50,000, 10%. 1 lakh ka 5% for 5 months. How? The payment was made on August. So August, September, October, November, December. 5 months ka TDS. That will be 5,000. And then non-payment ke liye 1.5% for 3 months. How 3 months? Starting from 31st December. So ending on end of January, end of February and end of March. 3 months ka non-payment. So 1.5% for 3 months. That is the total interest for the first payment. Non-deduction, non-payment. This for the second payment we have deducted, so non-deduction will not come. It will be non-payment only 50,000, which is the TDS amount. Remember, interest is calculated on TDS amount. 1.5% 3 months. So 9,500 plus 2250, 11,750 will be the interest that will be payable by you. Withholding tax obligation on payment for works contract by resident in India to foreign company deemed to be resident on account of poem shall be governed by if it's a case of works contract, but still we are making payment to foreign company which is a non-resident ko if you pay, the rate of tax will be governed by 195, and therefore for deciding your income accruing in India, POEM can apply, but rate of tax will be as per normal applicable rates and full tax has to be deducted. So 195 is going to be applicable. Mr. A is running a steel factory. Total turnover of the factory during 2021 amounted to 1.95 crore. Opts for presumptive. Even if you opt for presumptive, if it is 1.95, TDS of Achij is applicable. He estimated turnover is current year likely to exceed 2 crore. On 10/4/20, he took consultancy of a Delhi-based chartered accountant. Consultancy fees amounted to 180. Should A deduct TDS on 180? If yes, then what shall be the amount deducted and when it should be deposited? First of all, last year ka turnover exceeded 1 crore. That means professional fees pe TDS aayega. It's consultancy, so mostly it's not personal. Otherwise, they would have mentioned more than 30,000. All this decides that yes, there will be TDS of 10%. That means 18,000. These two are wrong. And if 10th April 20 ko he took this benefit, then TDS has to be deducted by the 7th of the next month, not quarter, 7th of the next month. Then accordingly, A will be your answer. An individual salaried employee constructed house in Delhi, made payment to contractor and labor 2 lakh, did not deduct TDS. Arey listen, personal payment, so no TDS. Personal payment can bring 194M if you are making payment to contractors, but that comes after 50 lakh. So liable for TDS? No. Provision of 194 CR attracted? No. Personal payment, TDS has to be deducted? No. No requirement for TDS, no provision. Assessee deducted TDS of 10,000 and in the quarter ended 31st December. Quarterly return was filed on 23rd March. That means what is our delay? Due date is 31st Jan. So 28 days of Feb and 23. We are late by 51 days. 51 into 200. What will be the fees? 10,200. That's option A, Gada. That will be restricted to the amount of TDS. The fees of 234E will be restricted to the TDS amount. So 200 per day is coming to 10,200, but not more than 10,000. Mr. Sanjay, a salaried individual, pays brokerage of 40 lakhs. Salaried, matlab 194H not covered. We just have to see if M is applicable. 40 lakh for buying a residential house. No TDS. His father Hari, a retired pensioner, makes contract payment of 15 lakh, 25 lakh, 12 lakh. So 15 plus 25, 40, 40 plus 12, 52 for house. Even if 194C is not applicable, M will be applicable. Matlab Sanjay is not required to deduct TDS, but his father will be liable under 194M. With respect to the above payments, which is correct? None of them are liable to deduct. Wrong. Both are liable to deduct. Wrong. Sanjay is to deduct, but father nahi. Wrong. Hari, matlab father is required to deduct because 194M ka threshold of rupees 50 lakh is getting exceeded, but Sanjay will not deduct, and therefore D becomes our only available option. Mr. Rajesh and Mr. Brijesh, resident individual, received 12 lakh each on 31st March 22 on maturity of life insurance policy taken on 31st March 12. मतलब राजेश के लिए the limit will be 20% and Brijesh के लिए the limit will be 10%. This will make a lot of difference. Sum assured is 10 lakh and annual premium of 1 lakh 10. Rajesh के लिए limit will be 20. Is it within the limit? So Rajesh के लिए there will be no TDS. Brijesh के लिए the limit will be 10 where it is exceeded 10% and therefore Brijesh का receipt of how much they are getting? 12 lakh. That 12 lakh will be taxable. But that 12 lakh is not fully taxable. Over the years, whatever premium you have paid. So when he started paying 2012, so 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, all these years, whatever he must have paid. When did he start? 12 है क्या 13? 12 नहीं है, 13 है ना? 13. How many years he has paid premium? देखो, let's be clear. Premium is within the limit, then TDS will not get attracted. Rajesh के लिए why 20%? Because policy taken on this date. So Rajesh का premium becomes within the limit, no TDS. Brijesh के लिए 10% because 1/4 and that has exceeded the threshold and therefore TDS will get attracted, but not on full 12 lakh. We'll give deduction starting from 13. So he started paying premium from 1/4 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. 21 last because 31st March 22 को maturity हो गया. So 9 years मतलब 12 lakh में से 9,90,000 9 years का receipt minus करके balance amount के ऊपर we will apply 5%. I have solved this for you. So Rajesh का 10 lakh, sum assured दोनों का 10 lakh. 1.1 is the premium, 1.1 is the premium. इसका limit is 20% because 2011-12 का policy. So no TDS. इसका limit is 10%. So yes TDS, but not on 12 lakh. 12 lakh minus premium paid over the years. 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. So 2 lakh 10 पे 5% जब आप लगाओगे तो 10,500. So yes TDS on both. No. No TDS received by Rajesh or Brijesh. No. No TDS for Rajesh, right? Tax for Brijesh 9,000. No. No TDS for Rajesh and 10,500 for Brijesh. That's your only correct and appropriate answer. Question 126. Mr. Akash made the following cash withdrawals during 21-22. So various dates are given. Bank of India say 1, 2. I think Bank of India only 2 withdrawals, 70 lakhs and 50 lakhs. Then Standard Chartered Bank 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 withdrawals from Standard Chartered Bank. Okay. Then Repco Cooperative Bank say 1, 2, 3, 4 withdrawals. And SBI say 1, 2, 3 withdrawals. Which of the above pairs are required to deduct TDS on cash withdrawal? Mr. Akash, assume he is regular in filing R1. So if he is a non-filer, then we apply 20 lakh ka threshold. But if he is a filer, then we will apply 1 crore ka threshold. So all we are required to do is segregate the withdrawals bank wise. Bank of India, Standard Chartered Bank, Repco and SBI, and whichever is exceeding 1 crore. So you just separate. I have already separated that for you. If you will see, Bank of India mein there are only 2, 70 and 50. But still 120 is more than 1 crore liable. SCB ke liye you have 45, 15, 15, 15 karke. Total becomes 105, more than 1 crore liable. Repco ko if you see, so there is 1, 2, 3, 4. Together Repco mein se 60, 10, 20, 15 mila ke 105 liable. And SBI say there is only 1, 2 and 3. Total is coming to exact 1 crore. TDS will be attracted only if the cash withdrawal exceeds 1 crore and thus only SBI will not deduct. Otherwise Standard Chartered, Bank of India and Repco, all 3 are going to deduct TDS. Mr. Gaurav, a resident, is due to receive 4.5 lakh on 31st March 22 towards maturity of LIC policy taken on 1/4/19. Sum assured 4 lakh, premium is 1 lakh 10,000. What is the tax to be deducted? So now 1/4/19 matlab 10%, means maximum premium 40,000. We have paid 1.1. So it will be taxable. TDS will be applicable, but we cannot apply TDS on 4 lakh. We'll take deduction. So 19, 20, 21, 3 years you must have paid premium, correct or no? So 4.5 you are receiving, that's your maturity proceeds. From that you will take deduction of 3 years ka premium. 1.2 lakh ke upar 5% you will apply and 6,000 will be the TDS that you will be getting. 6,000 will be your TDS. Mr. Mahesh, resident, age 62 years, started 1 year recurring deposit of 40,000 month at % per annum with ABC Bank. Deposit matures on 31st March 22. Interest is 20,008. So they have given you the interest amount. Otherwise you would have to calculate 40,000 ka 12 months ka interest, then 11 month ka, then 10 month ka. Aisa karke you will calculate, but they have calculated. हाँ तो 20,800 RD पे will there be TDS? No, because the threshold for recurring deposit for senior citizen is 50. Anyways, it is 20,000. So 40 is also not getting. We don't know whether he is resident or, but whatever we don't know. Dekho, agar resident, non-resident is not given, you have to assume it is resident and not exceeding the threshold. So therefore there will be no TDS. Mr. Hari is an interior decorator declaring profits under 44 ADA for 21-22 and earlier previous years. He has to pay brokerage of 10 lakh to Mr. Lal, a broker to buy house, 50 lakh to Mr. Shyam, a contractor for construction of residential house. Are TDS provisions attracted? Dekho, 194 if he is turnover, if he is declaring profits in this section, matlab turnover of profession, not business, he is in profession, not exceeded 50 lakh, matlab 194 C or H cannot apply. M may it has to exceed 50 lakh. Now this is only 10 lakh, this is only 50 lakh. None of the transactions are exceeding 50 lakh. So no TDS is required to be deducted. Once again we have Rajesh Brijesh question. This is 12 lakh only, taken on 31st March 12 and 1/4/13 respectively. Sum assured is given to you as 10 lakh. This is 1.1 again given to you. Only difference, sir, you will say it is same as the question that we did. Only difference is last time you were getting your maturity on 31st March. So when we counted the premiums paid, we took 1st April 21 also. But this time when we will see, they are getting maturity on 1/4/21. That means the premium paid is 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, only 8 years. 21 ka premium is not paid. I hope you understand that. Only 8 years. Rajesh ka rule is same. If you observe 31st March 12, 10 lakh ka this, 20% ka limit will apply within the limit. So no TDS for Rajesh. But Brijesh ke liye TDS will apply, where we will take 12 lakh minus premium paid over the years. Last time it was 9.9. This time it will only be 8.8. But that's the only difference. No TDS as within 20% limit. 12 minus this time 8.8, 5%. So last time you were getting 10,500, but this time you will get 16,000. So no TDS for Rajesh and 16,000 for Brijesh. That's your answer. Now we have all the case studies that we will be having. The next few questions are all case study based. All of them are taken from the case study digest. All of them are recently introduced questions. Last year ka episode if you have seen, so you will observe 125 pe TDS gets over, and we have 152 this time, means 27 new questions, and most of them are case study based, are for TDS. So let's see. Mr. B is an interior decorator by profession. He also delivers online lectures on interior decoration via an e-commerce platform, Indeco Academy. Matlab he takes lectures like this also on online platform. Relevant information is given. What receipt from Indeco Academy, means what are the receipts I got. These are the date of credit and these are the date of payments. 2 lakh, 150, 140. That means about 4 lakh 90,000 I am getting from my lectures on this platform. In addition to above, he received 20,000 directly from a student. Matlab this 4 lakh 90,000 is received from the portal, and 20,000 received directly from the student. And anything which is directly paid is also included. Matlab 5 lakh 10,000 you can count the total revenue for the purpose of 194. Oh, you can get the hint. It's an online portal. You will be getting payment. So 5 lakh 10,000 and direct payment by student also covered. Instead of through the portal direct payment. He has not furnished PAN or Aadhaar. He has furnished driving license. Matlab higher rate of TDS. 194 O का normal rate is 1. आप बोलेगा higher मतलब PAN not furnished 20. मित्रों, when PAN is not furnished in 194 O, it is not 20, it is 5%. So 5% TDS on this 5 lakh 10,000 will be applicable. On 5/5/21, he provided interior decorating services to Mr. N in Mumbai, having business turnover of 1.2 crores during last year. मतलब the payer Mr. N, who is an individual, उसका last year का turnover exceeded 1.21 crore for his office premises as well as residential. Consideration was office का 40 and residential का 60, and he has provided PAN details for invoicing purpose. मतलब N is paying to our assessee B. N is an individual, but last year का turnover exceeded 1 crore. मतलब 194 interior decorating, मतलब 194J है, will be applicable, but only on business payment. Personal payment not liable for TDS, and business payment also because it is exceeding the threshold. So N will deduct TDS only on 40. So Indeco Academy will deduct TDS on full 5 lakh 10. PAN not furnished, so be careful. N will deduct only on 40, 60 not liable for TDS, and at 10% because PAN is furnished. Mr. B's gross receipts from interior decoration profession excluding online lecture from clients in India including N, matlab this total included is 40 lakhs. Matlab online lectures ka 5 lakh 10 is not included. Otherwise everything is included, including this Mr. N se received. Matlab whatever is my total turnover 40 lakhs, uske andar I have to add this because this is not included, but this 40 and 60 are already added. Dekho na kya likha hai. From clients in India including Mr. N, khali excluding the online lecture. So 40 lakh will include everything excluding online lectures. Further, 1 lakh 10,000 is payable by Mr. B to Tumble LLC, a social networking site website having no office in India, and 1 lakh 5,000 to Doodle Inc. for online advertisement for the purpose of attracting foreign clients. Matlab I have paid, अच्छा equalization levy भी आ गया, to Tumble and Doodle for online advertisement services. Both are exceeding 1 lakh. Doodle Incorporation has an office. Matlab Tumble does not have office in India. Non-resident, no PE, more than 1 lakh, online advertisement for the purpose of business. This 1 lakh 10,000 will definitely attract 6% equalization levy. Doodle has an office in India said office is involved in providing designing services but nothing in relation to online advertisement. मतलब though Doodle has P in India, but this payment has got nothing to do with that permanent establishment. मतलब Tumble and Doodle दोनों का payment more than 1 lakh, both are non-residents. One of them has P but nothing to do with this, so it will be treated as for the purpose of advertisement, no P. Non-resident no P, online advertisement for the purpose of business, दोनों का exceeding 1 lakh, both will attract 6% equalization levy. Fortunately, Mr. B got one client base in country A with which India does not have DTAA, from whom he received 350 net income after deduction of 50,000 as foreign tax. मतलब actual income is 4 lakh, 350 in hand and foreign tax 50. So what is the foreign income 4 lakh? Listen, this 40 lakh includes India का, खाली Indico Academy का online 510 is not covered. So 40 plus 5.10 and plus foreign का income 4. How 4? 350 plus 50,000. Profits of Mr. B computed as per books of accounts maintained under 44AA is 24 lakh. He has however not got books audit. Audit नहीं करवाया, तो presumptive लेना पड़ेगा. We'll see what is the actual 24 and what is as per presumptive. From the information, choose the appropriate answer. Is Indico Academy required to deduct TDS? If so, what is the amount? The total amount is 5 lakh 10. Remember, direct payment is also covered. PAN is not furnished. We would have said 1%. Our answer would have been 5,100. But PAN is not furnished. So 20 mat laga dena and 1 lakh 2. It is going to be a case of 5%. 5 lakh 10 ka 5%. Is Mr. N required to deduct TDS under 194J? Mr. N, when he made payment to me, we already discussed business payment covered, personal payment not covered. So only 4,000 is going to be deducted. Is Mr. N required to deduct tax under 194M? Dekho, if J is not applicable, M is applicable. But M is applicable only if the total is exceeding 50 lakh rupees. So J में 40,000 will get covered, but 60,000 will not get covered under M. Is Mr. B required to deduct equalization levy? Both के लिए we have check condition. Tumble and Doodle both. Non-resident, no P. Doodle का P, but nothing to do with advertisement. Other business they are doing, what can I do? Non-resident, no P, more than 1 lakh advertisement services. To a resident for the purpose of business? Yes. So, what are we paying to Tumble? 1 lakh 10 ka 6%. 6,600. And what are we paying to Doodle? 1 lakh 5,000 ka 6%. So, 6,300. 6,600 for Tumble and 6,300 for Doodle. And what is Mr. B's gross income tax? Bro, tax liability पूछ लिया, assuming that he does not opt for 115 BAC. Gross liability मतलब foreign tax का unilateral relief is not asked. Before relief. Gross liability मतलब basic tax, surcharge, HEC before relief. That is called gross liability. मतलब compute his total income. अब total income में देखो, Indico का fees we have to take. Then Mr. N का fees तो will get covered in this 40 lakhs only. So 40 lakhs plus 510 Indico plus 4 lakh foreign. बाकी तो उसका पेमेंट है. रिसीट में अगर देखोगे तो 40 lakh इंडिया का, 4 lakh foreign का, including the tax amount, and 510 Indico Academy. That's total of I think 49 lakh 10. Audit नहीं करवाया है तो presumptive लेना पड़ेगा. Let's see how we'll be calculating. Receipts from Indico, receipts from India is going to be 40 lakh. Online lectures is 5 lakh 10,000. Indian receipts 40 lakh. 5 lakh 10 and foreign tax में we will take both. 4910 का PGBP half होएगा 2455 और इस 2455 पे you will apply normal rate assuming that he has not opted for 115 BAC. He has not opted मतलब old regime. So 1455 का 30%, 1,12,500 plus 4%, 570,960 is going to be 570,960 is going to be your income. देखा bro, पूरा का पूरा निचोड़ दिया, पूरा का पूरा. Welcome to case studies, and I am not leaving you today before I complete TDS. I am already at 135. I have 152 questions, 17 questions और है. So let it consume a little more time. Today I am not leaving. On the basis of given facts, answer the questions 136 to 139. मतलब 36, 37, 38, 39. 4 questions. Bharat, a cloth manufacturer, runs proprietary business in name of Bharat Traders. He also exports clothes outside India to associated enterprise as well as unrelated. मतलब transfer pricing applicable. Turnover of previous year 21-22 was 400 lakhs from business. Bharat had taken a loan of 35 lakhs at 9% from SBI on 1/11/21 for a term of 10 years for education of his brother Ram. Mr. Ram is studying in a university in London. He remitted the loan amount to Ram. For the previous year ended 31st March 22, he repaid principal of 7,50,000 and interest of 131. Of course, आप देख लोगे कि 35 lakh के ऊपर you count interest, you'll get it. The foreign remittances were settled through SBI, which is an authorized dealer. So foreign remittances, हो सकता है TCS comes. We don't know. Actually, that is why I say sometimes we should read the questions first. Other information. April 21, he went to a tour to London for purpose of learning new technology to leverage his business. Foreign tour package was by Franklin Tours. Details of expenditure is given. Ticket fare 450 is given. Hotel accommodation, sightseeing, that's the total. मतलब about, आप देखो 450 plus 160, that 6,10,000 and 86,90,000 का कुछ foreign trip किया है. तो foreign remittances of bank loan is 750, 690 का trip है. On 15/4/21, he sold scrap to Gentleman Suitings PLC, a foreign buyer who remitted payment of 80,000. Scrap sold to foreign buyer को बेचा, मतलब TCS at 1% will get attracted, मगर cess भी add होगा. Okay, so 1% plus cess. So there will be TCS here, there will be TCS here, there will be TCS here, but this is a foreign buyer, so here we will add cess. On 17th August 21, he received 55 lakh from Shakti Traders LLP for supplying clothes as per specifications. Raw material for same was also supplied by the LLP. If the customer is supplying, then it becomes a contract. Otherwise, it is a sale. So it's a contract. It's a contract. Raw material supplied. And what is the total value of material? 3780 stitching charges. This is labor charges. But in contractor, what is the rule? Out of pocket expenses will also be included. First of all, material was supplied by customer, so it is contractor. So 194C will get attracted, and on the entire amount. In JV, remove the out of pocket expenses. Bro, ho, क्या एक साथ टेस्ट कर दिया. Different provisions. Would Mr. Bharat be eligible for any high law 80E? You were thinking TDS, TCS, that is addressing you on deductions. Would he be eligible for 80 in respect of interest and repayment of loan taken for Ram? Also, does any liability for TDS or TCS arise on remittances to Ram under the provisions? First of all, 80 is allowed if the education is self, spouse, children, and your education is brother. So, jidhar they say 80 is eligible, you say no. 80 is to not eligible. 80E is to not eligible. Correct? Now, it's foreign remittance. And foreign remittance, if it is more than 7 lakh, then there will be TCS. For foreign tour, no threshold directly, but for other cases, there will be authorized dealer ka 7 lakh ka threshold, and 0.5% if education loan, 5% if other cases on excess. मतलब if here we are remitting 750, तो first 7 lakh no TCS, excess के ऊपर education loan है, so 0.5%. So no deduction, no TDS, no TCS, that's wrong. No deduction. SBI is required to collect tax at 0.5%, and non-resident of course cess होएगा. 28 lakh being the amount in excess of 7 lakh. Acha, they are taking you to 35 lakh. That's the amount remitted. No, the loan which is remitted to the foreign student is 35 lakh. So first 7 lakh no TCS, and excess के ऊपर there will be TCS on 28 lakh. So 136D. If tax is required to be collected on payment towards expenditure on foreign tour package, what would be the rate of TCS? First of all, यहाँ पे 7 lakh का threshold is not going to be available. You will have to pay 5%. 5% is going to be TCS, and 5% will be on your, without any threshold, on your entire. So अगर 6.9 का 5% apply करोगे, that will be TCS. No TCS wrong. On 450 wrong. 450 wrong on the entire package of 6,90,000. What is the amount of tax to be collected on scrap sale to that gentleman suiting? Scrap sale का 1%. So 800, but it's a foreign buyer. Whenever it's foreign, so you will have to add cess. So 800 plus 4%. You may end up choosing 800 as your option, but add cess. 832 is your answer. And what is the rate at which Shakti trader will be required to deduct TDS under section 194C, and on what amount? First of all, 194C will get attracted. Payee is individual, so it is going to be 1%. And now I have a little controversial discussion. You know, you can take it as per institute suggestion, or you can take it as per our discussion. Why institute has given that answer? They are saying raw material was supplied by the LLP. Please pay attention. Raw material was supplied by the LLP. that means it's a contractor. Otherwise, we would have said no TDS. And once it is contractor, we will say the entire bill will suffer TDS, and thus our answer should be total. There can be material supplied by the customer and there can be some material that we have added. See, if the material is already supplied by the customer, then we cannot add in our bill. No? If we make a bill of 55 lakh, then what does it mean? That means there is some material supplied by the customer that I will use. So it will be works contract plus some material I also use. That's this 3780. If this material of 3780 is that material which is supplied by the supplier, by the customer, then why I will add this in my bill? Then I will make my bill only of 1720. If you are making invoice of 55 lakhs, then it means only this much, that this 3780 is own material. But institute in their suggested answer, actual answer should be 1% of 55 lakh on what assumption? That the material given by my customer and this material is different. This is extra material, so full. But institute is assuming this material is the same which is given by our customer, and that if customer is only giving, how there will be TDS, and thus in the institute suggested answer they have said only 1% of 17 lakh 20,000 is going to be deducted. So basically they are assuming that 3780 ka jo material hai, it is that material only which our customer is given. How can then you add in the bill? Or maybe are you trying to tell us that the customer has paid us total 55 lakh 3780 in the form of material, 1720 in the form of stitching charges. But why will I make invoice of 55 lakh? Understood? They have taken this. We are taking this answer only to respect the institute suggested answer, nothing else. Next, case study 40, 41, 42, 43, 44. 5 questions. Rajat is a diamond merchant. During the previous year 21-22, he has turnover of 20 crores and net profit of 60 lakh after taking into account all permissible deductions. He invested in shares of various private limited companies from which he received dividend of 12 lakh. He has 2 house properties in India, both of which are SOPs. One of the property he had to take a loan of 50 lakh on which interest is payable, SOP interest 250, out of which he paid 180. House property mein interest is allowed on due basis. He paid 180. So this is irrelevant. 250 we have to take, but SOP hai to restrict to 2 lakh. So you need to know due basis but restricted to 2 lakh. On his birthday, he received jewelry from his friend, fair market value 5 lakh. He also withdrawn 1.2 crore during 21-22 in aggregate from his current account. Matlab he has bank withdrawals. 194N will also come, that means. Further, he withdrew 50 lakh from cooperative bank. And he is regular in filing return. Matlab cooperative bank will not deduct TDS. 20 lakh wala not applicable. Only this current account ke upar, because again it is more than 1 crore. So TDS is going to get attracted, 2%. His brother Rahul has not filed return of income for the last 5 years. That means he is a non-filer. Though his income has exceeded basic exemption. He withdrew 50 lakh rupees from cooperative bank. Rahul will be liable for TDS after 20 lakh. 2% after 20 lakh. And 5% after 1 crore. But it's a case of 2%. Also, Mr. Rajat holds 20% voting power in XYZ Private Limited, closely held company, beneficial owner, from which he has obtained loan. That means a beneficial holder is taking loan. They are also testing you on deemed dividend 222E. When you take a loan from a private company, when you hold 10% or more, loan taken by beneficial holder 10% or more from private company is taxable deemed dividend, restricted to the amount of free reserve. So even if he is taking loan of 10 lakh, taxable will be only 8 lakh rupees. Choose the appropriate answer. Heavy bro. Kya mix karke case study banaya. Which of the following statement is correct in respect of loan taken by 10 lakh? 10 lakh would be deemed dividend? No. 8 lakh would be deemed dividend because restricted to free reserves. Would cash withdrawal by Rajat during 21-22 attract TDS? 1 crore wala will attract, but 50 lakh wala nahi. So yes, both banks? No. 1.2 crore by the first bank? Yes. 5% nahi, 2% because he is regular in filing. Yes. And last case also, no. Cooperative bank will not be deducting, and thus I think the answer is going to be only the first bank, and that also 2% because he is a filer. Non-filer hota na, so 20 lakh wala case apply hota. He is a filer. Would TDS be attracted on Rahul? Yes, he is a non-filer, and thus 2% TDS will get attracted on him. What will be the total income of Rajat for 21-22, assuming that he has not opted for 115 BSE? not opted for 115 BSc, मतलब old regime के हिसाब से we have to take. And why is it relevant? क्योंकि SOP का deduction मिलेगा. So 2 house properties, both SOP, but one में there is interest. So we have to compute his total income. House property, पहली बात तो paid नहीं, due, and due will be restricted to 2 lakh. 180 नहीं, 250, 250 restricted to 2 lakh. In PGBP question has already given us that he has got income of 60 lakh rupees. IFOS ध्यान से देख लो, there is this dividend, there is gift received of 5 lakh of jewelry, and there is deemed dividend. 3 incomes are there. Dividend, gift, and this. Total 25 lakh. 83 lakh is the taxable income of Rajat. What is the taxable income of Rajat? Assuming he is in old regime, and thus we give house property ka deduction. What is the income of Rajat? 83 lakh. And what is the tax liability assuming he has not opted? Matlab this is easy now that you have calculated income. Old regime. So 73 lakh ka 30% plus 1,12,500 plus cess. Na munna na. 73 lakh ka 30%, 1,12,500 plus surcharge plus cess 26. You are likely to forget the surcharge here. 26, 34, 0, 6, 0 is going to be your answer. अरे मित्रों समझा क्या? मजा आया क्या? Mr. Harsh has to pay 3 lakhs on 3/3/22 to plan your trip travel agency for holiday package in Singapore and Malaysia from himself and his wife. He obtained a loan of 10 lakh for higher education of his son studying in Columbia University 23-22 from SBI and remitted the same through the same bank which is also an authorized dealer. Is tax required to be deducted by the travel agency and bank? TDS, TCS. Travel agency 7 lakh से कम है, 3 lakh भी है, still there will be TCS of 5%, no threshold. लेकिन लोन वाले केस में first 7 lakh no TCS and 3 lakh because it is education loan, तो 3 lakh का 0.5%. So this 3 lakh का 5% and here 3 lakh का 0.5%. No TCS, wrong. No TCS, wrong. Collected by the travel agency on full without any threshold. And SBI at 5%, 5% नहीं, education loan में it is 0.5%. So wrong. Tax has to be collected by travel agency and SBI at 0.5% on 3 lakh being the amount in excess of 7 lakh. Following are the details of cash withdrawals from Canara Bank of Mr. Ravish. 15, 55, 25, 45. Okay. Ravish failed to file return of income of AY 19, 20, 20, 21, 21, 22. Matlab he is a non-filer. What is the amount of TDS? Non-filer matlab more than 20 lakh ke upar we will apply 2% and more than 1 crore ke upar we will apply 5%. That is the rule for non-filers. Filer hota to directly after 1 crore. What's the total? 15, 55, 70, 95 and 45. 1 crore 40 lakh. Now this calculation again I am teaching you. It's like an extra concept you can take strictly as per ICAI suggested answer. When it's a non-filer and it has crossed 1 crore, so it has crossed 20 lakh also, it has crossed 1 crore also. What will you apply? ICAI has given suggested answer by applying slabs. They say once you cross 20 lakh, 2% will apply on the entire amount. Some students had asked questions in the revision lecture also. Let me be clear. Earlier the rule was on the excess and it got amended in 2022. Now entire amount. Matlab up to 1 crore we will apply 2% and beyond 1 crore we will apply 5%. This is strictly as per ICAI suggested answer. Once you cross 20 lakh on the entire amount, so 2% on 1 crore and then excess over 1 crore 5%. Matlab when you cross 1 crore, 5% will apply only on excess. Institute follows slab rate system. 20 lakh cross kiya matlab 2 will apply, but that 2 will apply till 1 crore on the entire amount. So full 1 crore 2% and excess over 1 crore 2%. Accordingly 4 lakh. 1 crore ka 2% and excess ka 5%. 4 lakh is going to be your answer. 4 lakh is going to be the applicable TDS that the bank will deduct. Very few questions left. I know it's 2.5 hours, but please have patience. Okay, we are almost done. Mr. Mahesh is engaged in business of trading of car accessories. Turnover of 2021 and 21-22 is 11.5 and 9.75. Matlab last year he has crossed 10 crore. During previous year XYZ placed order for purchase of car accessories 55 lakhs on 1st August. He again placed order of 35 lakhs. So 55 and 35. Total order 90 lakh ka ho gaya. And Mr. Mahesh delivered both orders within 15 days of receipt of orders and payment within 7 days. What is the amount of tax which Mahesh is required to collect at source on consideration received from XYZ Limited? Turnover of XYZ is 8 crore in both years. Please pay attention. बायर का टर्नओवर इज लेस देन 10 करोड़. अगर बायर का टर्नओवर ग्रेटर देन 10 करोड़ होता ना, देन बायर विल डिडक्ट टीडीएस. So seller का turnover last year more than 10 crore, seller will collect. But if buyer का turnover is more than 10 crore, then buyer will deduct TDS, then seller will not collect. In this case, buyer का turnover did not exceed. Only महेश का last year का turnover, अगर ये भी अगर less than 10 crore हो जाता तो नील बोल देते. But last year it has exceeded 10 crore. So this year there will be TCS that will be collected. Total I think is 90 lakh, but उसका threshold कैसा है? First 50 lakh no, and excess over 50 lakh के ऊपर 0.1%. I must have solved this. 55 and 35 total 90. 50 के ऊपर nothing and 40 lakh के ऊपर जब आप 0.1% when you will do on 40 lakh you will get 4,000 as your answer. Excess over 50 lakh का 0.1% is going to be your TDS. And this takes us to the last case study, the last part of TDS. We have had a long lecture and thus we will be ending with this last case study. And then now I plan to do more than 200 questions per episode so that I complete it in less than 10 episodes. This MCQ season 3 is now going to remain as it is. There may not be any season 4 or season 5. This has to be used because now if there are new questions, I will add them separately in the book. I will not add them chapter wise. So RTPs I will add separately. This will stay. If there is any amendment, I will change the answers for future students. It is for you to understand the amendments. Every year I cannot be solving the same to same theory questions, same to same, and most students now then they feel bored. तो नया case study है इसलिए some are watching. Next year there may not be new case studies, so people will stop watching also. So I don't know if I get a good response, good number of views, I may continue. Otherwise after this season MCQ does not make sense to solve the same questions again and again. Okay, so last case study, have patience please, and I am reducing the number of episodes so that in future people have to watch less. X is a resident of India who is involved in business of trading of FMCG under the name of Aadhar Stores. Messrs. Aadhar Stores has turnover of 4 crore 80 lakh and 10 crore 20 lakh for 21, 22 and 2020. मतलब current year it is 4 crore 80 lakh. Last year it was 10 crore 20 lakh. मतलब last year का turnover exceeded 10 crore respectively. X has taken a building on rent for purpose of carrying out business. Building is taken on rent from Mr. U who is a non-resident. मतलब we are paying rent to non-resident. During previous year 21-22, majority of sales is to retail buyers. However, Aadhar stores also sold goods to wholesale and issued the following invoices. तो ABC का 4550, ABC का 2550. तो ABC का total I think is coming to 46, 51, 71 lakhs. And EFG का 10 and 8, 18 lakh. ठीक है, अलग अलग invoice है. Aadhar store received the following amounts from ABC and EFG against the good sold. Turnover of both ABC and EFG is less than 10 crore. मतलब buyer का turnover less than 10 crore है. अगर buyer का turnover less than 10 crore है तो TDS will not come. Now TCS will come. Buyer का turnover exceed हो जाता ना, then buyer will deduct TDS, then Aadhar stores will not collect TCS. 1990 through invoice 1 cross check. It's a gross violation. You cannot take 1990 in cross check. 3 allowable rules. 2250 इस invoice का and इस invoice का दोनों का violation है in cash. Balance amount of 28,600 through RTGS from ABC. मतलब ABC का आप total मार दो 1990, 2250 and 2860 तो you'll get ABC का total. And 18 lakh for invoice 2 and 4 through account pay. मतलब EFG का payment is allowable. He received and made all the payments other than the above mentioned receipts via NEFT. Other than the above receipts via NEFT, account pay, check, UPI, credit card, his total receipts are 4.95 crore. Total 4.95. वो 4.95 में से we have already received 1990 and 2250 through disallowed mode. 5% से ज्यादा we have received through disallowed mode, and if 5% से ज्यादा we have received through disallowed mode, तो 10 करोड़ का tax audit का threshold will not be available. They have given you total receipts इसी के लिए 4.95 करोड़. उसका अगर आप 5%, see even if our payments are within 5%, receipts 4.95 करो, उसका 5% is coming to some 24 lakh or something, and we have already received this much. मतलब our other than allowable modes का receipts have already exceeded 5% threshold. मतलब even if our payments are within 5% in cash, we will be liable for tax audit. 10 करोड़ का threshold, current year turnover 480 है ना, 10 करोड़ का threshold not available. Presumptive लेगा तो 1 crore, नहीं लेगा तो 2 crore, but you have crossed 2 crore and tax audit is applicable. 10 crore का threshold not available. On 1/12/21, Mr. X has remitted 750 to son studying in Australia to authorized dealer. He has taken education loan from financial institution. मतलब ठीक है, TCS का provision will be. X has sold 1500 listed equity shares on 1st May through Bombay Stock Exchange, which he sold after 15 months. मतलब long term 112A is also being tested. He paid STT both at the time of acquisition and sale. मतलब it's a case of 112A. He acquired such shares for 2,50,000 and profit of 1,70,000. Of course, मतलब selling price is 250, profit is 170. मतलब cost price होगा 80. And mind you, if the shares were just acquired 15 months ago, तो FMV option is not applicable. FMV option किसका था? For people who purchased before 2018 and they wanted the FMV option. Now there is no FMV option. I hope I am very clear. FMV option नहीं होएगा. Okay, just this 170 के अंदर 1 lakh पे no tax and 70 पे 10%. He is of the view that the whole amount of profit is exempt. Based on this view, he furnished return of income on or before the due date of 139(1). On 12/12/22, he received an intimation 143(1) intimating there is no tax payable or refundable. Based on the above, choose the most appropriate answer. Choose the most appropriate answer. Whether Mr. X is under any obligation to deduct tax at source on the rent paid to Mr. U as per the provisions. Is he paying rent? Rent to whom? Mr. U, who is a non-resident. Non-resident को अगर पे किया, then I am liable to deduct TDS. वो भी कितना? Is it going to be 194I or IB? No. Whenever we make payment to non-resident, we have to deduct full tax. So even if case study is difficult, this first question is easy. Whether Mr. X is required to collect tax at source. If yes, what would be the amount? देखो buyer का turnover less than 10 crore है ना, तो X is liable to collect TCS. Then seller is liable. उसमें he is not liable to collect from EFG. क्यों EFG से नहीं? Because it is total of 18 lakh. But ABC में the total is 71 lakh. तो इसके अंदर there is going to be TCS. वो 71 lakh I have not solved. I am surprised I am not solved. 4550 and 2550. So that total comes to 71. 71 में first 50 के ऊपर नहीं आएगा and then excess के ऊपर there is going to be TCS. Excess के ऊपर there is going to be TCS. So your answer is going to be 21 lakh का 0.1% आप करोगे. 0.1% is the rate of TCS. 21 lakh into 0.1% if you do, you will get 2,100. 2,100 is going to be your TCS to be collected by X. What would be the amount of TCS on remittances to his son? 750. First 7 lakh nothing. फिर बैलेंस जो 50 बचा उसके ऊपर खाली 0.5% होगा. Yes or no? 50,000 का 0.5% is going to be your TCS. So that is going to be only 250 rupees. 250 being 0.5 on the amount exceeding 7 lakh. On 15th ये करेक्शन करना होगा आपको. It is 15th December 22. Not January, 15th December 22. January to will fall in the previous year. This is 15th December 22. On having discussion about his friends with gains earned, he came to know about the following issue. Capital gain on sale of listed shares exceeding 1 lakh is taxable. Yes, earlier he was thinking that fully exempt. It is taxable. He cannot revise his return of income since he has received intimation. Intimation मिलने के बाद में भी you can revise your return. So we have to put in the assessment here. तो January को change करके make it December. January को change करके make it December. Okay. He can revise. He can revise since the time limit for filing revised return has not expired. He can revise because time limit of revised return has not expired. इसलिए we are taking 15 December 22. Mind you, 31st December is the last date. While computing capital gain, he can take FMV. कैसे लेगा? FMV is only if the asset was acquired before January 2018. Whole amount of capital gain is taxable. नहीं, we have already decided only excess will be taxable. So 1 and 3 are going to be your correct options. And last question, is Mr. X required to get his books of accounts audited for 21-22? We already said that his receipts are exceeding 5%, मतलब 10 crore का threshold not available and 2 crore already crossed. So yes, audit is required. Yes, but audit report का due date is not October. Audit report, return का due date is October. Audit report has to be done up to September. That's your case study based question and that's your chapter called TDS. It was a long day. Next couple of days are going to be similarly longer. In the next 2 or 3 episodes, I plan to complete your MCQ season 3. I am covering more and more questions in every episode because of this. It can be more than 11 o'clock. It can be 11:30 also. you be prepared if you want to cover up everything with the ongoing session. Thank you so much for your patience for today. I thank you from the bottom of my heart for the patience. Thank you for watching. Have a good night, please. Bye bye. Take care. Take care.